Hello, I don't know if anybody's there. But if not, it's not a problem. Come on, Cooper, lie down, lad. Oh, hi, Voodoo. Hello, chicken. I've only just seen your message, babe. I'm sorry. Hi, Green Eyes. Thank you for being here. I was a minute or so late because I had a bit of an issue. I've been putting coal on the fire and I've got a lovely Harris tweed rug. And guess which moron spilt coal dust out of the sack all over the end of the rug, so I was trying to clean it. Oh, thanks, Voodoo. But yes, I shall. I'll sort this out after this live, and I'll send you a message, and then you have my number, and we can do the whole WhatsApp thing. But yeah, really appreciate your offer. Thank you, love. Hi, Lisa. How are you, my darling? Oh God, the dog's about to go off. Oh, shut up. Sorry about this. I'm going to mute for 1 second, guys. Oh, sorry about that, everybody. Cooper, as usual, wishes to join in on the live stream. Stop now. We've got a few doors down. There's my friend has got a 7-month-old German Shepherd pup, which is gigantic. He's only 7 months old, but he's very vocal. He's got one of the loudest barks I've ever heard, and that was what Cooper just heard then. What's the weather like where you are, Lisa? Because it's bloody freezing up here. I'm not even going to ask Green Eyes and Voodoo Queen because I'm pretty sure you'll be sweltering. Probably walking around in shorts and t-shirts or bikinis or something, and I've got about 18 layers on and a fire full of coal. I know, it's absolutely Baltic, isn't it? And I did see before that we are, oh, look at this, Green Eyes, 33 hot and steamy. Rub it in. Yeah, very dark, very cold. Oh, Voodoo Queen, it's been cold but tolerable. Yeah, it's just the last 2 or 3 days here. I mean, it seems to be going like 2 or 3 degrees colder every day. And tonight it's really, really freezing here. Although surprisingly, no ice. But the news reports and weather reports are indicating potentially it's going to get quite bad snow-wise for Christmas, you know, for over the weekend. But we shall see. Happy Solstice, Lady Witch. That was one of the reasons, because I mean, I'll tell you, because there's enough people in, and I know we've got 7 people watching. So hi, people who are watching. Feel free to come in and join in. But if you just want to watch and listen, that's absolutely fine. Oh, you got some Sherpa pants last year. I want some of those. Have you guys seen the leggings that have got fur? Like, well, it's obviously fake fur inside them. They're like furry leggings. And I thought, I think I need to invest in some of those, try and keep me warm. Yeah, this was one of the reasons I decided to come live tonight, because obviously you saw, and thank you everybody who commented. You know, it wasn't when I put it up, and I thought after, God, that's like an attention, like I'm looking like I want my ego stroking, which you all know me enough, so you know that's not me. Oh, hi, tis me, Denny. Another one we can wish happy solstice to. Because I was just thinking, oh, you know, shall I fork out and pay for it, or should I let it go, or, you know? But if you guys wanted me to carry on, then I would do. So that was what that was all about. And obviously, because I intend to pack in smoking from after Christmas, so I'm going to do it from the 1st of January. That's my deadline. I thought, well, you know what? I've actually, although I'm usually quite skint because all my money is accounted for, I'm going to be better off, and I'll have that money free that I would have spent on tobacco. So instead, that's gone to StreamYard. But excuse me. And then I thought, well, what better way to do a live than do it on winter solstice? Because generally, as Witch would say, it's oh, you'd be batty without smoking. Well, I thought I would, Voodoo, but I've been trying to rely on my vape a bit more, and it is working actually. And I think this is why I'm coughing quite a lot. No, absolutely not, Green Eyes. Thank you, darling, and I really appreciate everybody who offered. I really do. But it's fine. It's absolutely fine. So I went on to StreamYard and I bought the for a month. So I've paid up to the 21st of January, and then, you know, if you guys want me to keep going, I just leave it running, or I can cancel it. So it's not a problem. But I really appreciate that the offer. Thank you, everybody. Sorry. Yeah, it's the vape thing, isn't it? So Voodoo, because I don't normally cough like this, my throat dries up. What's me put? Kimay, glad you came on. Always good to check with people before committing your cash. I heard you say you're an Aries. I'm an Aries also. Woo woo. Yes, I am. And Mr. Sexy is also an Aries. His birthday is the day before mine. Oh, what's Lady Witch put? I got my first well-being check by the police today. One of my neighbours was concerned because I was out at sunrise holding a plate of butter over my head. Well, as you know, some of you may or may not know, this is... oh, you're an Aries as well, Lady Witch, by any chance? Or are you just giving us a shout out? For winter solstice, especially we of the pagan persuasion, normally, you know, you'd go to a meet, a blot, have a feast, do things, and clownies as well. Wow. Oh, brilliant. Right, okay. With the Aries crew. If you know, you'd have a feast, and it's a bit like a bit like first footing in Scotland. You know, it's those kinds of traditions. Hi, Simples, welcome in, lovely, and happy solstice. So, because I was at home today, I've been making jam and marmalade and things for my hampers, and where I would normally have gone somewhere for solstice, I thought, what better way to celebrate solstice and the longest night with my friends on here? So we can all have a bit of a natter about the usual non-scripted nonsense that I come out with, but I thought it would be quite nice, because obviously for the Norse tradition now is my Christmas starts today, or my Yule. So I will wish you all go Yule. And Yule is your Yule, and which is where that word comes from. Hi Sharon, hiya lovely, welcome, good to see you. I was thinking of having a catchphrase actually. You know, I always go, see you on the bright side when I leave. And I thought, I came out with something the other day, which comes from one of my favourite films. And if anybody can identify it, 100 brownie points for you. Where somebody goes, welcome, come on in, bienvenue. And it's a very famous comedy film. I can't remember if it was maybe the 70s or the 80s. But if anyone can identify that, brownie points. You can be star mod, whoever can work out that film. So yeah, I got thinking about you know, so our Christmas solstice, you know, whatever you want to start celebrating would start today. And when I was a kid, we used to leave out on, like tonight, winter solstice. It wasn't like all my friends at school leaving mince pies and carrots and a glass of milk out on Christmas Eve. we would do it on the winter solstice, and we would leave a bowl of porridge next to the fire, and this was for the Nissa, and they were the little, I suppose you could call them Scandinavian house elves. So, and this is where the, if you can, if you want to think about it, the image of Santa Claus has come from, you know, all the different Germanic cultures, because the Nissa, and this is all, you know, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Finland, they're little, chubby little creatures with a white beard, and they're dressed very elven-like, you know, either in bright red or bright green. Well, who does that sound like? A miniature Father Christmas. Oh, it's summer solstice. Solstice there, green eyes. Well, happy solstice to you as well. I love summer solstice. But yeah, the Nissa would be in charge of, they tended to be on the farmsteads. So as long as you treated them well and you weren't lazy and you looked after your animals and your land, and they would look after you. And they were quite a benevolent little creature. But like a lot of these creatures in Scandinavian folklore, they could turn very easily against you. So if you were a lazy farmer, you didn't look after your animals, what have you, they'd get up to mischief. So it'd be things like tying the cows' tails together and so on and so forth. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that little bit with you. Let me just see, 'tis me. We've been moving house today. Oh, have you? Wow, what a time to move house. We now have a garden and central heating after 5 years without getting. Well, brilliant. What a nice time to have moved. That's brilliant. I feel your pain about central heating because mine still isn't sorted. Still not had the engineer out, so that's why I'm putting coal on the fire and sitting here layered up. Sharon is listening for now until I get home. Give me an hour, you're in my ear. Brilliant. Well, yeah, enjoy yourself at work, and have, you know, be careful coming home and whatnot. And we'll see you when you get back. Yeah. Have you stayed local, Denny? Are you still in the local area, or have you kind of had a big move away from your from where you are now? Yeah, but it does make Christmas a tad manic. I mean, houses get cluttered at the best of times, don't they, at Christmas time, without having boxes to pack and unpack and find out where they go. Oh, so you're only 10 minutes away. That's cool. That's good. Yeah, so while we've got quite a few of you in, and some of you may or may not have heard, oh, hi, bedtime. Working again, hard as usual. Always working. You're a grafter. Yeah, so I just want to thank everybody for all the support that you've given. You know, that it was really, really kind of, I got a bit choked up reading all your comments before. So I do appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody who has supported us all for the last week, because I've only been doing this for a week, not quite a week. So yeah, it's really, really appreciated. So yeah, so I was thinking of talking about Christmas and what everybody does at Christmas, or what your views on, well, Christmas, Yule, solstice, whatever you think or whatever you do, and what your family traditions are. Oh, sorry. Just finished my baby matinee set for my friend's first grandchild. Oh, Simples, that's lovely. Was it a boy or a girl? Oh, good idea, Lady Witch. I can open Denny's blessings box then. No better time than the solstice. Absolutely. Because the winter solstice, believe, and I'm presuming the same branch of paganism that you celebrate, Lady Witch, to myself, would be that a lot of people don't realise that it's even more of a celebration, especially for us here. The winter solstice, you know, you would think people would be a little bit down, but obviously it's the start of the days getting lighter. It's the new year that's going to come soon. You know, you've got the harvest to look forward to, births of babies, everything that comes along. You know, it's always a really bright time. So even if it's dark outside. Oh, a little girl called Amelia. That's a beautiful name, Simples. Oh, you're just on your first coffee, Green Eyes. Nice strong one. I have my tea and my coffee like you'd put in a baby's bottle, really milky. I always used to laugh and joke, you know, if anybody said, "How do you have your tea?" I'd go, "Like me men, white and weak." I don't say that anymore. Like ink. Ooh. Mr. Sexy likes strong coffee. If I make it with instant, he has to have 2 heaped spoonfuls in one mug. It's like gravy. Oh, Green Eyes, I've just thought on. Oh, Builder's tea, proper strong. Yeah, he has it like that as well, with a teeny weeny bit of milk in, but again, mine's very, very milky. Stand your spoon in it. Black and thick for you, flipping heck. Simple as makeup. Booties, mittens, hats, matinee coat. Oh, that's lovely. You can't beat home knitted, can you? You can't beat it. Just see what else I've missed. If the spoon can move, it isn't strong enough. No wonder you bitches are awake all night. You're like smacked off your Babylons on caffeine. Oh, before I start getting onto the Christmas stuff, I do have to share something with you. It was my sense of humour again. Silly things make me laugh, and I can't stop. And the other day, I'm sorry, I'm going to start laughing. Just came from nowhere. He was singing, and he was singing this song, and he was going, G.I. Joe was floating in the water. Then a big brown shark came, and I'm looking at him thinking, what? But it rang a little bit of a bell with me. And then he carried on, G.I. Joe swimming in the water. I'm like, what the hell? And he went, Eddie Murphy. I was like, right. He said, Eddie Murphy, Delirious. And he starts trying to tell me, he said, about him in the bath. And he's laughing his head off. And I thought, I'm going to have to, I need to find a minute to watch this. So I watched it today. And it's Eddie Murphy when he did his stand-up, Delirious. And yes, he was Simple's Meerkat. It was like, well, it was G.I. Joe. And if any of you haven't watched it, I watched it this afternoon. I have sat here. I was making jam and marmalade. And while I was waiting for them to set, you know, for the lids to vacuum together after I'd canned it up. So I thought I'll have a watch of this in the lounge, and I could not stop laughing. There's Simples, it's so funny. So I'll tell you what had happened. So he's basically talking about the fart game. And he said, all men do it. They all fart. They think it's hilarious. They don't. He said, you do it from a child. Your dad starts you off with it. And as you get older, you don't even bother. You know, he said you can be sat there watching a game and your friend comes past and farts in your face and you won't even lose your temper at him. You just go, yeah, you got me good. And my mouth was open and what have you. So he said that him and his brother, when they were little, they were in the bath. You know, me and my sister used to bath together. You must be a man, Simples. So must my sister, because she used to fart like a trooper when she was younger. Pull me finger, yeah. My dad still does that, Green Eyes, and we still fall for it. So yeah, he said he's in the bath with his older brother, and they're only little boys at the time. And he said we were poor, so they couldn't afford bubble baths. So he said they're both sitting there farting, and he's sat there, and then it's and there's a little snigger, and then as another fart goes off, and then he said, you can smell it. You can smell it. So then he brings up the G.I. Joe, and he said, did any of you get your G.I. Joe and hold it over? And he said, you know, G.I. Joe was swimming through the water. And then he gets it in front of me and he goes, and then G.I. Joe sinks to the bottom. So he's doing all these hand movements. And then he says, G.I. Joe wanted to find where the bubbles came from. And he swims it round his back, and it's like, G.I. Joe want to look in the cave from whence the bubbles came. And then G.I. Joe got stuck. G.I. Joe got stuck, so he's obviously stuck up his arse. And then he said, and my brother did a shit in the bath. He obviously wanted to spice the game up a bit. So his brother picks up this turd and starts swimming it towards him, going, and then a big brown shark came. So he said, Eddie Murphy jumped up screaming. You're like, wah! Smacked his head on a soap dish, split his head, and he said he's still got the scar over his left eye, smashed his head open on this soap dish. So he said there's blood pissing out of his head. His mum comes running in the bathroom going, what the hell's going on? He said his brother sat there with a piece of shit in his hand. He's lying in the bath with blood gushing out of his face, and G.I. Joe stuck up his ass. So basically, that has been my afternoon, watching Eddie Murphy, making me laugh and thinking, my boyfriend is very childish. But at least I've watched it now. So yeah, I think the G.I. Joe song, that should be our channel song. And then a big brown shark came. The warm water will encourage the poop. You'd think that the warm water would have kind of disintegrated it in his hand. Because my sister we used to share a bath as kids as well. And, you know, me and my sister, one at one end, one at the other. And she used to fart in the water all the time. And, oh gosh, Greenhouse saying, geez, I've seen some horrendous cuts off those bloody soap dishes. Nearly took my lady's arm off. Gosh. But yeah, I understand. No words. No words, Lady Witch. But my sister, she used to, I mean, she farted like a fella all the time. And when we were little, and we'd be at one end of the bath to the other, and there was like a plastic beaker that we used to use to, you know, rinse our hair off when we'd shampooed our hair. And it was simple. I rarely have a bath now, but a good fart in the bath is fabulous. Well, you may be able to back me up on this story then, Simple's Meerkat, because what my sister used to do, she was a dirty cow, and she used to get hold of this beaker that we used to rinse our hair off with, our nice clean going to church on Sunday hair. She'd upend it so that the open end of the beaker was hovering on the top of the water, and she'd fart, but she'd gauge where the fart was going to surface. So she'd catch the fart in the mug, in the beaker, and the longer she held it in there, the worse it stank. And then she'd tip it out, and I swear to God, it smelt like cabbages. Far worse than it would have just smelt if she'd have farted in my face. And I will admit that a few years ago, I tried it again. I tried it to see if it would work. I can't remember what I used. I think it was the lid off a hairspray bottle. And do you know what? It still is the same. Oh, hi, Frida. Wanted to say hi to you all. Can't stay. Have my daughters here for girly night, but we'll catch up. Oh, you two have a lovely night. Have a lovely night. Yeah, because you said you were looking for keto food to make for a calling round, didn't you? So, yeah, I hope you have a lovely time. Well, Simples, if you don't fart in a beaker, canning jam to canning guffs. I know. Talk about random, Denny. Well, I'd just like to say that if anybody is having a bath and you feel the urge to have a little pump, just try catching it and you will see what I mean. Raw cabbage. So glad your kids never discovered that game. What, the G.I. Joe and the turd, or just the trumping and Oh, you know, my sister was rank. I don't even remember my brothers farting like she did. She's a dirty arse. Absolutely rotten. I know my dad collared her once. She'd done a fart somewhere. Oh God, I can't remember how old she was. She wasn't that old. And I remember my dad shouting, saying that she smelled like a rat had crawled up her arse and died. I'm going to finish pickling this morning and bake bread for the first time. Oh, way to go, Green Eyes. I've got my bread to bake yet. It's got to go in my hampers. A good fart tickles your fancy. Well, it does if it rolls up, doesn't it, Simples, when you're in the bath? We all need to remember that if we get jam from Kiss, open it away from your face. I can promise you, I fully sterilised all my jars. Everything is perfect, fart-free. I don't fart anymore. I'm a lady. First thing I hear in the morning off hubby and last thing I hear at night. What a good old ripper. Let them rip. God help anybody coming in this chat for the first time. Seriously. Oh, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will. I'll drop the link if, you know, nobody has to come up if you don't want to, but I keep forgetting to do it. So I will drop the link. And if anybody wants to hit it, you can. And if you don't, I can post it again in a little bit. What kind of bread are you going to make, Green Eyes? Please don't say some fancy artisan shit, because I'll be really jealous. Let me just go back up and see if I've missed any chat. No. I was really pleased with myself because I've made raspberry jam with my homegrown raspberries. I popped them in the freezer. Every day that they ripened, I picked more off and popped them in the freezer, you know, so they were literally picked off and frozen straight away. So it smelled really nice, and the little bit that I did eat off the spoon tasted okay. So, and I've made Seville orange marmalade, and I've made lime marmalade. I was making damson jam and I forgot that the pan was on the stove and I burnt it, so that has had to be thrown away. Bread maker does fab cinnamon and sultana, but I'm low carb at the moment. Yeah, me too, Simples, but I'm just letting it go at Christmas. It's a crusty artisan done in a Dutch oven. Looks easy. Oh no, I've made one of those, Green Eyes. It is really easy. The no need one. Yes. Yeah. I found the recipe for that. I can't remember if it was last summer or this summer. And I thought, nah, that's not going to work. And it did. It was so tasty. Because I thought it was going to be full of holes. It would be really crap. And it really isn't. You're right, Denny. You can't beat fresh bread. Just when you smell the smell of fresh bread. And like I said the other night too, Nuff Nuff, that always reminds me of my nana. Because she was always, you know, I think she must have baked bread every single day when I was growing up. Oh, Lady Witch makes them as well. Yeah, they turn out. Yeah, they do, don't they? I was very dubious because I've always made my own bread traditionally, and I found that, and I just was not convinced. And my benchmark is always, would Paul Hollywood do this? And then I thought, oh, you know what? Fuck him. I'm having a go. I must admit, I haven't left mine that long, but only because I couldn't wait. I was too eager. Oh, Danny. Oh, my nan would too. She'd do us fresh scones for a cream tea. Bless her. Yeah, that's it though. Nana's, excuse me, Nana's and the baking. Was your nana Irish by any chance, Denny? Only asking because my nana on my mum's side, she was Irish, and God, the baking she'd do. And she used to make us potato scones, which I loved. I'm only starting with the shortage coming to see what it's like. Oh, you've just reminded me. I did start to tell you and then I got sidetracked, as is my wont, Green Eyes. So not wanting to rub it in or anything with your bog roll shortage, but this is especially for the other people who are here in the UK. So 4 o'clock this morning, I went to Asda because I nearly lost my shit yesterday with people. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to set my alarm. I'm going to go to Asda and get my last few bits that I need. So 4 o'clock this morning, down I went. I was the only person in there apart from the shop staff. So it was great. Anyway, I buy Asda's own brand of bog roll, the Shades one. So normally I get, they do a shea butter one and they do a coconut oil one. And I love the smell of them. And they are very fragrant. And if you've got the whole pack of toilet rolls in your bathroom, hi Sam, welcome darling. They do put that scent out. Well, today I have found that they're doing a Christmas special Christmas bog roll, and it is orange and cranberry. It just smells of Christmas. So my bumhole is going to smell of Christmas for the whole of the holidays. So I can thoroughly, if you like that lovely, spicy, Christmassy scent, if anybody goes down the Asda, pick yourself some up. I got the last 2 that were on the shelf. So I don't know if it's going to be just a novelty for the Christmas period, but oh God, they smell they smell like I could eat them. So I'm really sorry, Green Eyes. Yeah, that's not who we got hooked on sourdough bread. We couldn't get yeast for the longest time. Yeah. Yes, Simple's Christmas craps. I know. What was the Yeah, listen, Green Eyes, you're not the only one with a sweet smelling arsehole, all right? We're not being outdone by a bloody Aussie. Even if you're only an Aussie by living there and not by birth, we're not having it, okay? You have your hose pipe, I've got my toilet roll. Oh, potato cakes with hot butter, I know. Do you know what I like on mine as well? Not to everybody's cup of tea, but chili jam. I absolutely load them up with butter and I do little cuts in the top of them so that the butter sinks in. And then I lollop a load of chili jam on them. Oh, gosh. I'm hungry now. I've not eaten anything. Well, I have eaten something today. I did actually, I really did break my fast and break my diet. But when I was on the way home from, I had to nip out for something else that I'd forgotten at about 11:30. And when I was coming back, um, I came past the chippy and I succumbed. And I went in and I had a large fish and chips and a tub of curry sauce. And it was bloody good, but I feel like a pig now. I do all sorts, Denny. I've made raspberry. I was making damson because I had damsons in the freezer as well, but I effed that up. I've burnt it. So at the moment, I've just got raspberry, and then I've also made Seville orange marmalade and some lime marmalade as well. But I make all sorts of things. But again, it was just sitting as a child with my nana. I loved it. I couldn't be a chef, but I do love cooking, and I always make too much as well. Says me, I have my peppers cupboard now. Should last me 6 months. Better be prepared and have no food as expected in January. Oh, preppers. Have you watched Green Eyes? Some of those canning, some of those prepping channels. They can everything. It shows like they canning mince and all sorts of stuff, fresh meat and everything. Oh, she makes honey, Denny. Yeah, well, the problem is I am allergic to bee stings. I go into anaphylactic shock. I've got to be really careful. But if I wasn't, I'd love to have bees. I really would. We've got bees up at the farm, you know, where I keep the horses, but they actually were very, very placid bees. They were just at the back of my stable. So when the hive turned up, I was shitting it going, I can't be doing this. I'm going to have to bring my EpiPen and all the rest of it. But they're actually very, very placid hives. So, yeah, I was hoping that once, you know, they get off and going, they were just letting them settle in this year. They got them back end of the summer. So I'm hoping next year she'll start making honey, because I'd definitely be buying some from her, or even maybe try to help her make it, because I love honeycomb as well. What's Voodoo put? You'll need to stop with the Martha Stewart breads. Clown will get homemade pecan pie and cookies, but no freaking bread. Sorry, babe. Voodoo, just buy him a Dutch oven if you well, I presume you have one already. Show him the video on how to make the instant bread. Even he can do it. They did a lot of dehydrating. I've got loads of pulses and dried mushrooms and shit filling foods. Yeah. The thing is, it's like the bloody it's like a zombie apocalypse, isn't it, when flipping COVID shortages or wherever other shortages start. Lady Witch, I always wanted to keep bees. Honeybees are actually pretty friendly as long as you don't threaten them. Yeah, these bees are really chilled out. I think, though, I would be quite scared, because have you got any of those Africanized bees where you are, or are they only in the southern states of America, Lady Witch? Because I know you're further north, aren't you? Key lime pie. I've never made that. Every time I see Voodoo's name, I think of Vic and Bob. I'll chat to her more at some point and see how she does the honey and from what bees. Yeah, one of my cousins used to keep bees, and they would go if there were ever a swarm, because of the association that they were in, and they'd get phone calls, you know, to see if somebody could go and collect them, because she said, you know, the honeybees were really under threat. A lot of the wild hives were dying off, and you've got like that honeybee decline syndrome, haven't you, in this country? I don't know if it's going on in other countries though. So yeah, it'd be nice to, and I have a lot of bee-friendly flowers, even though, you know, if I get stung and can't get to my EpiPen, I'd probably be dead. But I've not actually been bothered with the bees. Wasps are a swine. But yeah. Oh, so we're supposed to have them, but haven't seen one. We do have the asshole wasps, though. What are they? Like the wasps like we have, what you call the yellow jackets, Lady Witch? Or, because there's those killer hornets and all sorts of things, aren't there? Bees were huge this year. They were simples. And I found one in the summer. Oh, it was such a shame. It was crawling round on the floor. And I remember my cousin saying to me, you know, if you see any bees crawling around on the floor on a hot day, that they're dehydrated. So she said, mix some, she said, if you've got honey, that's great. But she said some water, lukewarm water with sugar in it, and put it on a spoon in front of the bee, and it'll have a drink. So I did it. And the bee revived and flew off. So I hope it just spread the word, and that's why no bees bothered me this year, you know, that they said, yeah, there's a friendly house there. Yeah, you're right. Wasps, they are arseholes, aren't they, Lady Witch? Aussie bees are tiny. Oh, are they? Now, Green Eyes, you may be able to answer. Are bees indigenous to Australia, or are they something that the European settlers brought, do you know? I'd be quite interested in that. I've seen at least 4 types of bees in my garden this year. Oh, you did the same as well, did you, for One Simples? Isn't it amazing how quickly they revive, though? Just a little drink of water. Oh yeah, I've seen those posts about the thirsty bees, sugar water. I know, Denny, you know, they are lovely little creatures. And when you see how how industrious they are, they're just amazing. Oh, it's Crystal Ball Bag. Hello, my darling. Welcome. A saying of mine, to saying saith, a bee be all that beholdeth the being of beware. Okay. I shall let you decipher that for me, Miss Ballbag. Yeah, the little furry bums. I know. The also indigenous but different. Okay. Are they aggressive or are they really chilled out, Green Eyes? Lady Witch has a plate with pebbles outside for the bees in the summer, shallow water. Get lots of visitors, not just the bees. Oh, I know. I love taking care of wildlife. You know, whatever wildlife that may be. Apart from wasps, I just no, I just don't see the point of the damn things. About the size of a wasp or smaller. All right, okay. I did see, Aussie magpies are demons. I've never seen an animal gone so rogue. You want to see them round here? They're we've got a lot of crows, and honest to God, it's like Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, because they all launch at just as it's coming dawn, and all you can hear is them like crowing, and from the one nest area that they're at, just from one of them, and there are a lot of nest areas around here, that I would say there must be 200 or 300 of them, and then they do the same thing at night. They all go back and go crowing around, and it's quite disturbing, actually. Simples is feeding magpies and blackbirds at the moment. People tend not to like magpies, but they're so intelligent. They are, but they're also, well, they're arseholes as well, aren't they? I know someone who used to keep one as a pet when we were kids. I think it had been a fledgling and he'd ended up hand rearing it and whatever, but that was a huge thing. But it used to jump on your head and it would peck at you, and I was quite scared of it. But they are quite cruel, because I saw it this year quite a lot, and last year was really bad, raiding other birds' nests. And I saw one. I was walking Cooper home one evening, and I heard a load of squawking, and coming from some allotments down near the canal, not far away from my home, and I heard a load of squawking coming from the allotment, and this magpie came out, obviously holding a baby bird that was just about on the point of being ready to fledge, and that was squawking, and both the parents were coming after it. They were blackbirds, and they were trying to dive. I mean, give them the due. This magpie was twice the size of both parents, but yeah, unfortunately, it got away. They're always raiding nests. Earlier this year, they attacked a mother carrying her new son. She tripped trying to get away from it swooping her, and she tripped and fell on the baby, and it died. Fucking Oh, no. UK magpies are fine. I've never had one problem other than remembering to say, hello, Mr. Magpie, how's your wife and children? Yeah, I know quite a few people who do that. Or, hello, Mr. Magpie, have a nice day. Hungry arseholes, they are funny, but do go after eggs, etc. The blackbirds are usually the ones who suffer. Yeah, they are. You're just reminding me to put the sugar in the bird's water dish before taking it outside. Good. I'm glad we've been of some help. Oh, Sharon, so you don't have any magpies there? Yeah, that is odd, because they're usually everywhere. Yeah, Green Eyes, it's horrific. Aussie magpies are vicious. Oh, gosh. And they still won't cull them. Do you know what? I can't recall seeing any magpies when I was in Australia. I wasn't looking for them, though. Cannibals. I don't know if they eat their own voodoo queen, but they definitely eat other birds. They're yeah, they're not good, and you just see them. You know that they're raiding nests because you hear the whatever bird's nest they're raiding, the absolute panic. I don't know about the other. I honestly don't know if crows or rooks or whatever do it. Or jackdaws. and jays. I don't know. I mean, they're all kind of closely related, aren't they? But I've only ever seen magpies doing it. 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl, 4 for a boy. Yeah. 5 for silver, 6 for gold, 7 for a secret never to be told. My nan, she used to get panicky if a magpie landed on the roof of the house, because she used to say they were harbingers of death. And I do remember as a child throwing, I think it was a slipper or something. She threw something at the roof. There was a magpie on the back of the farmhouse roof near the guttering, and I remember throwing something at it just to get it to go, because she didn't want it on the roof. Same as she would never have peacock feathers in the house as well. I don't know if that's a general thing or if that was just her being crazy and Irish. I have dive bombing willy wagtails. They want to nest in the garbage. In the garage. Sorry, garbage. Are they like the same type of wagtails that we get over here, Green Eyes? Like you get the pied wagtails. I was just made up with the like the budgies and seeing things in the wild. Although we do have parakeets wild in southern UK now. Is that? I think that's your neck of the woods, isn't it, Tisme, Denny? Down Suffolk, Surrey, that kind of way. Willy wag, the biggest cock on any bird. Yeah, they are. They dart everywhere. I'll tell you what I would love to see, a hummingbird. I've seen one at a zoo, but when you see them in the wild and you watch documentaries in America and they're showing the little, and you don't realise how teeny weeny they are. And they've got those long tongues that come out and they take the nectar out of the flowers. They're so pretty. I remember watching something and it showed, how many, I don't know how many flaps per second that the wings go, and they slowed it right down. It's amazing. Nearer Kent Way where we were before. It's not next door, but that way. All right, thank you. Yeah, I knew. I remember watching something again. It was some news report, and they were saying about these green parakeets that are everywhere. That's my Momo's spirit animal. She loved them. Oh, Voodoo, what the hummingbird, Voodoo Queen. I feel a name change coming on, Green Eyes. 5 for silver, 6 for gold, 7 for secret never to be told. Yep, Sharon, same as me. I grew up. Oh, that's lovely, Voodoo Queen. What a nice voodoo animal. A nice spirit animal. I don't know. I think if I had to pick one, it would probably be a wolf. I feel an affinity with the wolf. What do you guys think? If you had to pick a spirit animal or bird or creature, what do you think yours would be? I don't think mine would be a wolf for any other reason other than I absolutely adore them and I always have. With the family surname being what it is, which is, yeah, without doxing myself. Oh, Cooper, be quiet. Lady Witch, I love hummingbirds. Years ago, I had a mother. Oh, sorry about the dog. Stop it, you gobshite. I had a mother bring her babies to the feeder. I thought they were bumblebees at first. I know, they're so tiny. They are so tiny. And you don't realise that, well, especially somebody like me, we don't see them here. You only see them on the television. And I didn't realise until I actually saw one, how diddy they are. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to put some logs on this fire because the coal is going out. Give me 1 second. Apologise for the clattering sound in the background. If you hear a bellowing sound, it isn't me farting, it is actually bellows. Oh, excellent. We have a bit of flamage. So let me just see what I've missed. Oh, Voodoo Queen, so your your spirit animal is a deranged mermaid. Sounds like an 80s pop group. Yup. Pretty sure my animal is a squirrel. Oh, do you, Lady Witch? Any particular reason? I wonder if... Oh, and yours is a hare, Sharon. Well, that is another animal I love as well. And we have quite a few around here. It's quite nice to see them, but the hare is a lovely pagan animal as well. They were coming quite not endangered, but rare to see. And it's been quite nice. And we stumbled across a hare while I was out walking the dog. And it lay down. It was in a ploughed field. We were walking across it. I saw it. Luckily, he didn't. Cooper had just missed it because his nose was to the ground. But it was really funny watching it because it went into one of the furrows left by the plough. And it lay down on its side and it flattened itself, but just with one ear sticking up, which was twitching. So it couldn't see us, but it was paying close attention to where we were. And it was a big one as well. But yeah, I kind of veered off in another direction because I didn't want Cooper to go after it. Oh, so yours is a cat, Lisa. Meerkat. Yes, you are a meerkat. I love meerkats as well. They're lovely little animals. Squirrels are always around me all the time, so I looked up the meaning and it's totally me. Oh, no, you're fine, Sharon. It's absolutely fine. Oh, we've got another meerkat, green eyes as well, because they pop up on the legs and nosy around. Green eyes, you will not publicly discuss my collection of nuts. Is she dragging the content down again? It always hits a certain level, doesn't it? And I'm not going to complain ever because I absolutely love it. And to be honest, I can't say anything, can I, after talking about kids farting in baths and holding pieces of shit and pretending they're a big brown shark and G.I. Joe stuck up ourselves. So, yeah. And then a big brown shark came. I did actually forget. I did promise Green Eyes that I was going to name this the next chat I did as crap and a coffee with with Kiss My Axe. I wouldn't worry, Green Eyes. Bring the tone down whenever you like. We don't get too raucous, do we? We just have a bit of a giggle and I like laughing. I think laughing is great. And obviously, you know, we're celebrating the solstice, the start of Christmas, at least for myself and Lady Witch, and any other pagans in the group, or for all the Christians and every other religion. We're coming up to that time of year, so Voodoo Queen, that's a morning live, yeah. Hi, Paulie. Lovely to see you, lad. Welcome on in. You totally threw me with your name change, but yeah, great to see you. All the crowd are in. We've just been talking about, well, yeah, we're kind of veering from talking about spirit animals and then talking about Eddie Murphy and Wolis as a fledgling pagan. Welcome to the sisterhood, my darling. Yeah, so there's no set topic of conversation. It's just see where it takes us. And as I said, we keep falling into the gutter, but we do pick ourselves up and move on to other things. So yeah. So, oh, 'tis me a water buffalo. Why do you think that, 'tis me Denny? Is there any particular reason or just because you like them? Simple as my friend bought me a witch's date book. I have no dates to put in it other than putting my bins out, but there are some nice written passages in it. Lady Witch, hail to the sun, blessed be the sun, and may all celebrate the turn of the wheel. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that, funnily enough, that you said that, because they reckon that that is where Yule and Yule originated from, which is the Icelandic word. I can't remember. It's something like hule or something, or hule, which basically means the wheel. So we've got to that point and everything's turning and the cycle is turning, and yeah. So it's funny that you just mentioned that because you reminded me of it. I was just going to say, what's aioli? I'm glad your phone's being an arsehole the same as mine. Lisa, was it you or was it Lulu who needed a new phone? Because I remembered somebody mention it in one of Bam's chats a few weeks ago, and I did leave a message in the chat, and I don't think it was seen. I know it was one of you, but I can't remember which one. No, it's Paulie, Sharon. Pauly. Oh, so it wasn't you. Okay. I'm saying hello to dear Crystal because she's being ignored. Poor old gal. Oh, what's she been saying? Let me have a look. We need Lucy and Rain Dancer and Lulu's mummy. Yes, we absolutely do. We absolutely do. But hopefully they'll hear on the grapevine that we're online and they'll come in as well, because obviously night before last, Sid and Fern and Paul as well, none of them had realised that we had lives going. So, word's getting out, which is great. Can you see Paul now, Sharon? Or have you got it on live chat or top chat? Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah, it's Paul out of Bam's, Sharon. Oh, you had it on top chat too, Green Eyes. Yeah, I always do that, but it appears to have just defaulted onto live chat on this one when I'm on StreamYard, so I don't need to keep checking it. I'm doing pretty good with the chat. So, what I was going to say before we go off on other tangents is that, oh yeah, sorry, see Paula, everybody's here. We's all in the chat. Now that I have no limit to how often I can stream, I was like, oh yeah, this is amazing. Hang on, before I say, Lisa's put in the middle of cooking up some seafood before I have to throw it away, listening in the background. No problem, darling. I'm hopefully I won't vanish before you come back like I did the other night. I was so sorry. I thought you were still in the chat. So I've got no limit to my hours. I can have up to 10 guests on panel, which I probably would struggle to get people to come up. But anyway, and I was going to stay over at my aunt's on Christmas night. Well, I'm not doing now. So if you remember from the other night, Nuff, provided she can get a signal, is going to go live with Nobbington. I think she was aiming for about, did she say about 9 o'clock, I think? And do a Christmas Nobbington and a quiz and whatnot. So that should be really good. And I'm going to go in for that. And that, because I should be home by then. And then depending if Nuff stays on or what have you, if she calls it a night and anybody's wanting a bit of company or what have you, because, you know, there are going to be some people who are not with family, then just give me a nudge and I'm happy to come up live. I was thinking of coming on for an hour or two on Boxing Day, and then I'm not going to probably be available for a couple of days then. And then we'll come, you know, just before New Year. So what's Simple doing? Yeah, I'm not lunching at my son's. My daughter-in-law has had a positive. Oh no, she's not. Oh, so are you on your own on Christmas Day, Simples? Yeah. Well, like I said, I should be home in evening. So I don't mind coming on. So even if it's just me and you, love, I'll come online, or it might just be me and I might just sing things and get drunk, and then you can all listen to me on playback. Well, Paul, we've not heard from Bam. None of us have heard from Bam. We've sent her messages and things, and you know, we've talked on here on the different days we've been on, and everybody's been saying that, you know, we've really missed her. We were quite worried because we hadn't got hold of her. And then Mama Rat came in the other night and she was saying that she's got quite a bad chest infection and an ear infection. So, and I know she wasn't feeling well prior to that anyway. So, you know, we've asked, can she pass our love on from all of us and tell her that we're all here. We're just, you know, keeping things going until she comes back. So yeah, we're hoping that she'll be back, but sooner rather than later. Sooner rather than later. And as I was explaining, that's what we're doing these for, keeping us lots, so we've all got somewhere to hang out. Because there are a few channels that we are persona non grata on, aren't there? So yeah, we're just sticking here. We're having drama free and chatting about all manner of shite, as we say in the north of England. Oh, so she's feeling all right, is she, Simples Meerkat, your daughter-in-law? Well, that's good. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? One of my nieces has it at the moment, this Omicron thing. So this is why I'm not going to stay over at my aunt's, because my sister has been to and from in there, and I said, well, you know, and I'm quite worried about her because she's 78. She's not in the greatest of health. She lives alone. I have not been happy about my sister going in there, because my sister, not only is she looking after my niece, and she's got my other niece who's had the accident last year, but my sister is also a care worker. So she's in and out of different people's homes. And given the way that this is spreading, I have said to my aunt, I'm really not happy about her coming in your house, because she's not wearing a mask. And yeah, anyway, that's another story in and of itself. So I said that I would rather just go and have the lunch with her. I've bought the turkey and everything, so I'm going to go over there so she's not on her own at Christmas, and then I'll come home in the evening. I'm not going to push the luck. Denny, she's all right, thank you. She's still in a wheelchair, but they're hoping that they are going to, I mean, she's been having 4 times a week, she's going to the hospital, she's been having intensive physio, she's doing hydrotherapy now, she's still got one of those external cages on her leg, and they have to, because I think I explained it the other day, I don't want to bore everybody saying again, but because of the bone loss, I mean, there were bits, there were slivers and shatters. Yeah, I don't want to go into details, it's horrible, but they've had to build up some of her leg with, she's got like titanium in it as well, and they've done bone grafts. So she's got this external cage, and they have to turn these screws every day, like a little quarter turn or something, or I don't even know what a turn it is, but just so that that leg doesn't heal shorter than the other. It's to stretch the bone. But they're hoping that that can come off in January. Yeah, she is in pain. She's got to see the maxillofacial surgeon because she suffered a lot of facial fractures, and her beautiful straight teeth were basically effed up as well. So I think she's going to be having to have some implants at the front. But you know what? She's all right. She's alive, and that's the main thing. And having an accident at 15, her recovery rate is going to be a hell of a lot quicker than, you know, someone 10, 20, 30 years older. So yeah, and thanks. And, you know, I know all of you guys, you know, all the healing thoughts that you sent, I know that helped. So, okay, see you in a minute, Lady Witch. Gonna go and slice and soak some taters. Oh, so Paul's going to Sisters now. Glad I got to see you. Yeah, really, really good to see you too, Paul. I hope you do come back in. Like I said, I'll try and get on. But if you set the notification bell, and you'll see when we're on. And sometimes we have topics, and sometimes we don't. Like tonight isn't really a topic night. It's just a get together and chat. So yeah, you take care. If I don't see you before, have a great Christmas. Hope your sister's still on the road to recovery and is doing well. So yeah, we'll see you all. See you soon. Yes, Danny, it is a road to recovery, but yeah, that's the main thing. She's here. She's here, and she will get over it, you know. It's like anything. I think it's just when you get into that age where she was and is such a pretty girl. She real head turner, you know, still had that you know, the little chubby cheeks that you have at that age. But I know from the rest of the family how she was going to turn into looking, and how she will turn into, but just getting to the stage where boys are starting to show her attention, and she started to dress like a young lady, and, you know, wearing frocks instead of trainers and trackies. And so it's quite a blow, isn't it? So she's having counselling as well. She's suffering to a degree of PTSD, you know, as a result of the accident, but she'll get there. She'll get there. Right, let's see. What have I missed? What's Fingal been saying? Beryl eats more than me. Nah. Is Beryl going to be showing off her crystal balls to people at some point? Takes time to reconcile all that's occurred. She will get there. She will, Denny. Yeah, yeah. She absolutely will. Oh, she's flounced off, has she? The petulant mare. Fancy that. A brand new member of the chat and flounces. We don't do flouncing in here. Thank you very much. I think I'm the only one that should be allowed to flounce. I don't think I've ever flounced in my life, actually. Now, there was something. Oh, Crystal, come back. I know, Sharon, thank you. Thank you. But, you know, we're quite a tough family, and, you know, she's the latest in a line of thousands of years of tough breeding. So, yeah, she's got warrior's blood in her veins. She'll be fine. She said you're all ignorant and she's off to ADs. Oh, God. Well, Lisa, definitely flounces. I can be a bit of a mincer too, so I'm told. Yeah, I've never done the flounce. I'm far too clumsy. I could pirouette away. I used to be a dancer back. Yeah, so but no, flouncing is not in my nature. I'm too Aries for that. We don't flounce. Tell her to wash her mouth out with soap. Oh my God. Is he still going? You know, I'm obviously not wanting to start a whole chat about the old reprobate, but it just seems to have gone incredibly quiet recently. Mincer. Da fuck. I love that word. Da fuck. Yeah. Well, I think mincing is more appropriate for this time of year. A mincer pie we'll have. The thing is, Lisa has got the hair for flouncing, hasn't she? I mean, my hair's down to my waist as well, but I just think those locks, it's the proper, you know, you can do the whole flick your hair back and flounce off dramatically. I don't think it would work as well if my hair was short. That's on your. Oh, you're making mince pies as well, Green Eyes. I'll give you a little tip that my nana used to do. She had to make some separate for me because I'm allergic to oranges, but she used to put a squeeze of fresh orange juice into the mince pie paste, like cases. As she was making the pastry for the mince pie, she always put a squeeze of orange juice, and it did kind of make them a bit flakier. You know, yeah, they were, yeah, they always looked lovely when they came out. And I do believe from everybody else who ate them, they said it did make a difference. But yeah, she used to get half an orange and hand squeeze the orange juice. Mm. Like I said, I'm just going secondhand because I've got an orange allergy, so I've never been able to eat them. You're doing really well with all this home baking malarkey, aren't you? Tis me. I've got long hair, but I wear the bougie mum bun most days. Yeah, well, mine was scraped up on top of my head as well. Just purely because I didn't want it dipping in the jam when it was. And ended up having to cut a few inches off because I'd got like tar stuck in the bottom of my hair. So, um, but I leave my hairs all over the place. It was really funny. Actually, yeah, I don't think he's in here at the moment. He was probably going to nip in for a listen later on, but Mr. Sexy the other day, we were lying in bed and he's kind of wriggling, and I thought he was scratching his ass. And I went, "What is it?" And he pulled this. It's one of my long hairs. He said, "It's one of your hairs was stuck up the crack of my ass." Crystal ball beryl. I have the most beautiful flowing of flowed lockings. Well, listen, crystal balled beryl. If you end up flouncing those beautiful flowing of flowed lockings over in that other channel that shall remain nameless, you will probably find yourself being tarred and feathered. That's just a word from the friendly. Oh, Simple's Meerkat has been making soup the last few weeks, butternut and lentil, gorgeous. Oh, do you know what? I got given a recipe for this mushroom soup. that my friend makes. She has I'm gonna call it a cafe. It's not a cafe, a tea room. She always, whenever I say cafe, she says we're slightly more upmarket than a cafe. I'm like, oh, whatever, it's a cafe. But she makes the most amazing mushroom soup. The minute she puts it on, it's sold out within like an hour and a half. I shall thus relieve myself of you all. Okay, okay, Crystal Bald Beryl. But thank you for dropping in again. I'm sorry I keep missing you. It's because I'm not watching the chat properly. So yes, my friend has given me this recipe for the mushroom soup, and I'm determined to make it because I could just eat bowl upon bowl upon bowl of it. I would end up like a manatee if I make that and make as much as she makes. It's just delicious. So that's kind of my favourite soup. I do a chicken soup as well, which ends up more like a chicken stew, to be honest. But I always make it with chicken thighs and leave the bones in and cook them all down because the flavour that comes out of them, it's really delicious. So what do all of you guys eat on Christmas Eve then? Do you have a bit of a feast, or is it the calm before the storm? Stop it. Stop it. I think, well, we're having, we'll be eating bits of shit and what have you, but he has his own signature dish, which he calls lasagna. And the reason for that is like lava hot. Yeah, Cooper's he's just about to woof again. Stop it. Nobody wants to know you. You're a pest. Go away. So it's his version of lasagna, but instead of putting bechamel sauce in it, he puts chili cheese sauce in it. And it's more like the bolognese is more of a chili bolognese, but without the chili beans in it. And then he puts like spicy and chili cheese on the top of it, and it's really good. So he's making that for us on Christmas Eve. It's absolutely delicious. So let's see what you've all put. Christmas Eve is rotel dip and finger food, simple stuff. I don't know what rotel or rotel dip is, Voodoo Queen. If you can tell me what that is, because I've never heard of that. Simple as it used to be Indian when Dave was alive, but it might be cheese now. Yeah, do you know, my friends of mine live on a boat, and they actually have an Indian. They order it on Christmas Eve, but they have an Indian for Christmas dinner on Christmas Day. So they just get really slaughtered, and we'll probably go down. I might take Mr. Sexy down to the canal, and we go and have a drink with Sharon and Adrian, because they're a really good couple. But yeah, they're usually doing some form of a fish dish on Christmas Eve, but then they always have a curry on Christmas Day, and they've done that for years. Oh, Domino's on Christmas Eve. Well, that's a good one. I wonder if they've got a big queue though. I bet you need to get your order in early. Spicy tomatoes, cheap cheese, and small fried sausages. Well, I don't know. That sounds really tasty. Oh, Sharon, do you know what I have as well? And do you know what else I did? I was saying that I broke and I'm always really, really good. I'm really careful about what I eat. And when I went shopping yesterday, I can't even believe this happened. I think an elf was with me and threw a large jar of the Biscoff paste into my trolley. So today I had fish and chips because I came past the chippy. But last night I sat with a spoon and I literally ate the entire jar of Biscoff. I just started off with one spoonful and thought, oh, I'll have another one. And then I was halfway down the jar So I put it back in the kitchen and I sat here going, like you do with after 8 mints, you cannot just have one. So I went back and got the jar out of the kitchen again, took the lid off, got a spoon in it, and I just ate the whole lot. God, I felt sick. And I could tell as well that I'd had sugars because I've been bouncing around all day and I just feel as bloated as hell. It's really funny when you take something out of your diet and then you don't eat it again. You know, or you don't eat it for a long time and then you do eat it again. So, yeah, it's Christmas is the time for being a pig. But I went and I bought some mulled wine, and as it's Christmas, it's really weird because as I've already said before, I'm not a drinker. I just never have, well, since I was really ill, I never have been, but I will at Christmas. So I had Bailey's the other night, and it was only a couple of fingers in a glass. But port it always reminds me of Christmas. And I've been to mess dinners as well, you know, with obviously the family being army. And you obviously are always served port there as well. And I just thought, you know what? I'm going to treat us to a really good bottle of port. And I've got us a bottle of mull wine, so that's going to be on Christmas Eve. Although I did say before that I'll probably be shit-faced by 3 o'clock. So he was like, why? What do you mean, 3 o'clock? I'm like, well, yeah. If I'm ever at my dad's, it's his thing that on Christmas Day morning, I mean, he cooks Christmas dinner pissed as a rat. It's always drambuie. He makes eggs Benedict and also smoked salmon omelette. It's always the same. He makes eggs Benedict and smoked salmon omelettes and then cracks open a bottle of drambuie. So if you're ever up in Scotland at my dad's, you're absolutely wankered by 10 o'clock in the morning. And half the time I can't even remember having eaten Christmas dinner. Voodoo's doing a laundry. I need to do mine as well. Let's have a look. It's only a week. It is only a week. I know, Sharon. I know, green eyes port. You can't beat port at Christmas, can you? You've just given me an idea of what else to get hubby for Christmas. Oh, a bottle of port. You see, I really love Graham's port, and there wasn't any in the shop. So I've ended up buying some fantastic all singing, all dancing special reserve bottle of port. So I'm going to really enjoy that going down. Pre-scoffing any excuse. Yeah, absolutely. I have a tin of salmon just to see if she'll eat it. Oh, you're spoiling the puddy tats. Oh, so you don't see port over there for some reason, but I presume you can still get it, can you, Green Eyes? You see, I'm going to have to get lemonade. I'm going to be a bit of a heathen because I do like port and lemon. So fair enough, there is more port than lemonade in the glass, but I just think it adds that little bit to it. I'll have a straight port after my meal, but then a port and lemon, it goes down really nicely. That always used to be what I'd have at Christmas lunch. I wouldn't have wine, I would have port and lemon. Oh, limited choice, yeah, I'll get you. Denny had a hot sausage roll from the bakery earlier. Damn, it was good. Oh, kedgeree and lots of Bucks Fizz. Wow. Again, there's orange in it. I can't have that. I've been asked, Mr. Sexy had a sausage roll and he can't remember where he got it from. And he said it was, it had like peppers and spices in it. He said it was really, really delicious. and I can't find it, so I'm going to try and make some for him. I don't know how they'll turn out, but, you know, whatever. Yeah, kedgeree always gives you thirst, though, doesn't it? Which is absolutely why you should be drinking lots of Bucks Fizz with it. I've not had kedgeree for a long... I think the last time I had kedgeree was when I was down visiting my aunt and uncle in Devon. And God, she's a baker. She can cook anything. She should have been a chef. But yeah, she made kedgeree. It's delicious. Not something I would be doing, though. Yeah, Fingal, I've heard about the Linda McCartney sausage. Was it the sausages? And one of my friends was saying they're actually, and she isn't a vegetarian and had picked them up by mistake and said they were actually really good. So, and is everybody having turkey on the big? Well, I know that Green Eyes, you said you're having fish on Christmas Day, didn't you? Because it's too hot for a roast. But is everybody having turkey or? Well, sorry, those of you who are meat eaters, are you having turkey or lamb or beef or pork or duck or goose? Oh, you're having ham, Voodoo Queen. Lovely. Yeah, at bedtime said he picked a ham up the other day, didn't he? John reckons they're the same as the real deal. Yeah, that's what my friend had said. She was quite surprised to find out that a vegetarian sausage was very tasty. Denny is having turkey crown, beef and ham, Christmas Day and Boxing Day food. Yeah. Well, as I always overbuy, I've bought the biggest turkey you've ever seen. So I'm going to cook that. And then I will I'm going to cook it on Christmas Eve. And then I'll take, because my aunt doesn't eat the brown meat. So, and I'll use that. I'll probably make a curry out of it. So I'll take one of the, because it's gigantic, one of these breasts over to my aunt's. There'll be more than enough for both of us to have a massive plateful and to leave her with a ton of it to make more dinners. So I've got all the vegetables and everything. I'll get everything cooked. So the only thing I'll need to do when I get there is make the gravy. Ah, but Green Eyes, you and I would be making pea and ham shank soup, wouldn't we? Or pea and ham soup. The staple of any good northern kitchen. Oh, Sharon, 3 meats for you. Meerkat, probably soup and a chicken tikka wrap. Well, you know, it doesn't really matter, does it? I spent Christmas on my own one year. That's another long story I won't go into. And I was thinking I was going to be really depressed, you know, because everyone was going, I'm going here, I'm going there, we're having this, we're having that. And actually, it was, I just thought, you know what, it's just another day. And I've got nobody here to tell me what I can and can't eat. And I just sat from morning to night and ate shite. I think I had crisps for my breakfast. I was eating crackers and cheese mid-morning and sticky toffee pudding. And then I had Christmas pudding with brandy butter all over it later on and cheese on toast. I think I had more cheese and crackers. I had an entire box of those chocolate seashells and a full box of After Eight mints. And I've just remembered I had a full box of Turkish Delight, you know, the rose and the rose and lemon one that's covered in the icing sugar. Yeah, I wasn't very well on Boxing Day. What have we got? Let's see who else has put. Just what I would usually eat things. As long as they have a bit of brie, I'm happy. John calls me a human waste disposal unit. Yes, Green Eyes. Pea and ham soup for definite. Made some last week. Not ideal in 30+ degree heat. No, it's not at all. And you've got to have it with a great big wedge of bread slathered in salted butter. It's just the law. So it must be a cat. I'm more annoyed than sorry for myself. Since Dave died, it's the first fucking year I actually wanted to go and socialise. I'm all wrapped, etc. Oh, that's such a shame, Simples. I'm really sorry that the bloody COVID arsehole has ruined it for you. I really am. Oh, hi, Joe. Joe Madre in the house. Hi, all. We had a tamale making party with my brothers and sisters. I'm steaming them now. Oh, look, I've never eaten a tamale. What is it? I'm sorry if that sounded ignorant. I'm just not very familiar. You know, I mean, I hear of some Mexican foods on programs, and I think, wow, that sounds delicious, and then I've not got a clue what it is. But yeah, tamale sounds really good. I hope I pronounced that correctly. So yeah, we're just talking food at the moment and what we'll be eating on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And then every so often I drop the link just in case somebody wants a bit of a natter. And Tisby Denny has moved house today, so she's all topsy-turvy. Tamale is a corn dough spread on corn husk with pork chili inside and rolled up. Oh, that sounds amazing. That sounds really delicious. It sounds a bit, I mean, it won't be the same, but it sounds a bit along the lines of, what are those Chinese things? Got sumais, aren't they? The steamed pork dumplings. I love those. In Middleton, the more he eats, the taller he gets. No weight, just height. He's 14 and over 6 foot. Wow. That's like both my brothers, Denny. They just kept growing and growing and growing. Mexican corn dogs. Gotcha. Well, it sounds delicious. It's nice as well if you're doing that and you're doing something as a family, doing the cooking, and we used to do that when we made gingerbreads, because we always made gingerbreads when I was little, and we hung them on the tree, and making mince pies with my nana, and she always made her own Christmas pudding as well. Oh yes, Denny, you're the same height as me, 5'2". I always say they don't make diamonds as big as bricks, love. Sounds yum, Joe. I've seen tamales prepped and served, but never tried. I hadn't even seen them myself, Denny. I didn't know what they were, so it takes a lot of hands and lots of laughs. And that's what Christmas is all about, isn't it, Joe? It's doing things together. Oh, his bedtime clown. What's that? Tamales are the best. I've ruined many a day eating too many of them in one sitting. Oh, Green Eyes, you're 4'11". Oh, with the Diddy crew. I don't know why, Green Eyes, but for some reason in my head, I had you at about 5'6", 5'7". I don't know why. But you're the same. My nana was the same height as you, 4'11". My granddad was over 6 foot tall. Crystal ball bags back. So, Denny, I am 6 footage 7 inches, but a model's figure I have. With my locks of beauty, I am superbly, wondrously wonderful. I'm sure that you are. And I bet you can flounce as well with the best of them. I used to wish I was tall, Green Eyes, but I actually don't now. I've just come to terms with the fact that my arse drags on the floor and I'm never going to be invited to walk on a catwalk. Let's put it that way. And that any pair of jeans I get, I always have to take the hems up. A tamale's like the Greek stuffed vine leaves. Oh, I love Greek stuffed vine leaves. They're delicious. I tried to make them once, but I couldn't find vine leaves anywhere, and I made them with cabbage leaves, and they were bastard awful. I think I'd done something wrong somewhere. Voodoo Queen. You are green eyes. I thought the same. Imagined you tall. I'm only 5'3". This is the scrappy crew. Yeah. We are all tiny people, Sharon. We're hobbits. Go on, you're going to tell me that you've got this willowy model height now and figure, aren't you, Sharon? Make us all jealous. I come with built-in carrying handles. Oh, Joe, my nickname growing up was Shorty. Yeah, my lot call me Midget. I feel mahoosive at 5'6". Yeah, my sister's really tall. And Simples is 5'4". Well, that at one time was the average female height in the UK, wasn't it? 5'4". I remember reading that somewhere. And I think that is taller now. Because, I mean, I look at, some of the kids at school and what have you. Now, whether that's to do with, the diet or, people eating better, because obviously your diet does play a part. Genetics does as well. But the kids, when I see them coming out of school, the girls, they all seem, they're all tall and willowy. Like, I don't see any short kids anymore. I come back and you guys are talking about tamales. Yes, we are. Joe, I would eat a dozen with some corn chips on the border. Salsa and a Coke, yum. Fingles, nearly 5'7". Yes, Lady Witch, we're all short arses. Well, some of us are. How tall are you? I get told I'm like a woman, only smaller. But I've got really short legs. 5'10". You're like my sister, Lady Witch. I am the midget of the family. My friend's from Birmingham, and she rings up and she go, "You all right, you fucking dwarf?" Which is her way of calling me a dwarf. Bo is 5'11". Oh gosh. Oh well, we've got a nice mix of people, haven't we? We're all beautiful and handsome, depending which sex we are. And everybody's lovely and kind. Some of us are taller and some of us aren't. We're all perfect in our own way. Sharon, I would love a couple more inches. Wouldn't we all, love? Wouldn't we all? I'll say no more. Hello, Gutter. I'm about to jump into you. Danny said, "Yep, we are short. I used to say good things come in small packages. Bitch girl at my work said, yeah, so does poison. She burned me." That was a very quick comeback. And I know, sorry guys. It just reminded me when I was asking Jen the other night if she's doing Nobbington on Christmas Day night, and I said, can I have an inch? because I really would like a dick for Christmas. Obviously, as we know, for those people who don't know, I'm not talking a physical dick. I'm talking Nobbington is a quiz. We all know in chat, but I know there are quite a few people watching. So Nobbington is Nobbington Manor. And Armchair Detective Enough is Enough, the lovely Nuff Nuff, who was in here on panel the other night. She does the Nobbington Manor story, and then she does the Nobbington quiz. And if you get a question right, you get a knob inch. And for the best part of a year, I have only had an inch and a half. So that's what I'm saying when I want a dick for Christmas. Just in case anybody misunderstands what I'm saying. What, you've given up on a dick for Christmas, Simples? So what's Voodoo said? My cousin is witch's height. She always calls me prissy. I called her jealous. You're right, Lady Witch. The dose does make the poison. Yeah, Simples. I could just listen to Nuff Nuff laughing. She's got one of the most contagious laughs ever, hasn't she? And I'll be honest, you know, I have the very first time I went into her chat because I subbed to Nuff Nuff prior to joining Bam's channel, and I just thought it was such a lovely group of people. They made me feel welcome. I joined in on the chat the first time. They explained what the rules were. And yeah, and I just thought it was great. I think she's a wonderful woman. I think all the subs and the mods, everybody who goes in there, great group of people. Just as all you guys are. We're all great. And it was lovely that they came in here the other night. Really lovely. But yeah, she tells a good story, does Jen? She's a very, very interesting lady and a massive animal lover, again, which is another brownie point from me and from all of us, I think. What's this Jason Donovan man? I needed resuscitation. What have I missed? Because that is slightly lost. Oh yes, sorry, yes, I remember. Sorry, I know what you mean now. It was. Do you know what was doing me though? It was the Ken Dodd. All right, Green Eyes, lovely. See you in a minute, darling. You're right, Sharon. She is. She's a lovely lady. She's another one with a heart as big as a head. Yeah, Fingal, absolutely. Ken Dodd. Ken Dodd. Ken Dodd's dad's dog's dead. Say that when you've had a wine down you. No, I really like how the chat flows in there when you go into Nobbington. It's just such light-hearted banter. It's really nice. I was sorry that she said because I'd missed it when she said that the last Nobbington was, you know, feeling a bit strained because of people trying to cause trouble. But, you know, it's like with Salties. It shows people up for what they are if they're going to try and bring down a light-hearted chat. So, yeah, crack on. We don't do that. So I'm looking forward to that on Christmas night. Are you going to come in at Simples as well? If everybody else is, you know, there'll be at least us two joining in maybe. And then, as I said, if depending how long Jen's online for, then I can always come online and chat in here for anybody who's around. Ken Bloody Dodd, I know. Were you there as well, Denny? It was so funny. Was it Helen who just kept putting that as it just kept coming up? Ken Dodd, Ken Dodd. Brilliant. Oh God. I've just tried need to poison myself. I've just necked the last of my brew. I must have busted the tea bag. I've just got a gob full of tea leaves. Oh. I will put a date in my witchy diary as it starts on the 27th. Yeah, so that's yeah. So I won't be around on the 27th. I will not be here. Not sure about the 28th. I might be, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I might because that little lull between Christmas and New Year. So maybe the 29th, 30th, something like that. Might come on again and do something. Might try and get something sorted. I've been given a really good suggestion for a live. And I don't really want to give it away. It's kind of a bit, it's very topical, shall we say. I think it would raise quite a lot of discussion. It's a bit historical. As I said, there's a bit of discussion to be had about it. I'll not give any more away at this stage, but I'm going to get some facts together. Because I think it's quite interesting, and I do think it would be something that would get the conversation going and the discussion. So I might do that in between Christmas and New Year. And I was also thinking of possibly, hi, welcome back, Green Eyes. I was also going to try and get something together for Mrs. Mercury about the runes, so I might do that in between as well. I'm working on a lash video for you guys, but need clown's help. I'm shite. Maybe out by the 27th. Oh, brilliant, Voodoo. Brilliant. Oh, well, let me know when you put that one. Are you going to do that on Clown's channel? Make sure you let us know when you're going to put that one out, because I'll definitely watch that. Are those the lashes that you were telling me about? Sharon, I'm working Christmas Eve, then get the weekend off. It shall be blurry as always. Do not worry, it should be as blurry as hell. Yeah, I can't wait either, Green Eyes. After me having me eyelashes permed. Nah, I'll post under my name. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, it's I'm really pleased since I had mine done. So they last about 6 weeks. So I think probably maybe beginning of January I'll have them done again. And I'll tell you what I have bought. Oh God, I might have to take photographs. If it turns out how I think it'll turn out, again, it will give you a laugh if nothing else. I've bought myself a contour kit. Now, whenever I try and put makeup on, as in proper war paint, I look like a drag queen. I don't tend to wear makeup as such. I'm my skin's, it's pretty good. So, I just, if anything, I just put a bit of bronzer on. But yeah, I bought myself a contour kit, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna watch a tutorial and see if I can because you see these people, don't you? They've contoured the faces, and there'll be some. Well, I'm gonna sound really bitchy, but I don't care. There'll be some real ugly munter, and then they do the before and after, and then they've contoured and all the rest of it. And you're thinking, oh my God, I pity the fella you go out and pick up looking like that, because they look like stunning. And I pity them if they wake up and that's all slid off your face in the morning. Because I heard somebody after they were saying they were watching all these videos of women, doing the whole makeup and contour thing, completely changing their appearance, that a first date should involve going swimming just to see if the makeup slides off so they can see exactly what you look like underneath. I'll just go back through chat. Voodoo Queen, what kind, Sharon? You like him? I always used to work the early Christmas day so guys with children could watch them open the presents. Oh, that's really kind of you, Green Eyes. That is a kind thing to do. Lashes really do make a nice enhancement to the eyes. They do, Denny. They do. Because my eyelashes, my natural eyelashes are blonde. Although they're long and they just go nowhere. So I had my eyelashes lifted a couple of weeks ago and tinted, and the difference, yeah, if you can post a link please, Voodoo, that would be great. Tis me, Denny. Oh, I had colleagues do that for me in the past at Christmas, Green Eyes. Yeah, it's a really kind thing to do. You need a bit of filler in your cheeks, old age. I'm sure you don't, Green Eyes. I'm sure that you don't. I know, Voodoo, you said you were going to go and have your fillers done, didn't you? Oh, hi, Pork Chop. Welcome on in again. Nice to see you. Men go to bed with Gilda but wake up with me. Yeah, that's the famous phrase, isn't it? With contour and darker foundation along with the wig and contacts, I can totally change my appearance. It's fun, but people are shocked. Yeah, I can imagine that, Lady Witch. When I see some of these videos, I think, oh, good God in heaven. I mean, they look fantastic, but I think, oh, someone's going to get a real shock if they pick you up in a bar and take you home tonight. Because did anybody see there was a story? It was a couple of years ago. Somebody posted it on Twitter, and it was hilarious. It was this South Korean businessman, minted guy, and he married, and his wife was stunning, as a lot of the Korean women look beautiful. So she was absolutely stunning. And there's a photograph of him, and he's a good-looking guy, So there's him, there's this stunning wife, and then there were these two absolute fugly kids, big fat, yeah, they were really like pig noses on them and everything, really, really ugly. And he found out that, so he was divorcing her and suing her because he found out that she had had all this plastic surgery. And he found a photograph of what she'd looked like prior to getting married to her. And he was going to divorce her and sue her because she'd given him these two really ugly kids, because obviously they'd look more like she had before she'd had all the surgery and the fillers and the yeah. And I thought, well, you horrible bugger, they're your kids. But obviously that was the most important thing to him. But yeah, it really did make me laugh. It really did. Because I've not seen Burren Witch around for a while, because Burren Witch is a makeup artist, isn't she? Yeah, you better just letting your fella see you with no makeup on, and yeah, or as little as possible, and then there's no major shocks, is there? Well, that's it, Lady Witch. It does take two, but he wasn't going to own up to those ugly kids. Yeah, I miss Burren too. It's such a shame I've not seen her around at all. But again, she might be busy, and also she may not realise that we're all coming on here and on to bedtimes. Oh yeah, Sharon Katie Price. Wig off, teeth out, makeup off. Yeah. You're right there, Fingal. You're absolutely right there. But men have it so much easier, don't they? Because they don't have to wear makeup and they always look great. It's like no effort. They get out, they wipe the face with a face cloth, bit of a Glaswegian shower, bit of the old Lynx on, and they look absolutely fabulous. And then we've got to go through the whole 3 hours worth of primer, foundation. Yeah, yeah. Setting powder, setting spray, and yeah, it's just, is it worth it? The push-up bra as well. Yeah, yeah, the push-up bra. But yeah, I do envy men, and then I think their skin must be so much better than ours that they can look like they do with minimal effort. Sorry, I'm just having another flick back up through the chat. Have I missed anything? I don't think I have. Oh, I follow Alexis Stone. He's fantastic at makeup. He can change into anyone. Oh, I've not seen that, Green Eyes. They do have it easy as fuck, Tisby, Denny. They do. Absolutely, Fingal. None of that. That's Green Eyes. I quit wearing makeup unless I've got a blemish. Clown kindly freed me of that. Yeah, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Because, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, it's nice if you're beautiful. I would love it, but you know, we are what we are, and at the end of the day, we are who we are inside. We're all going to get wrinkled, well, unless we can afford to have the fillers and the Botox, but the majority of us are going to get wrinkles and start sagging, and things are going to head south. But we're still hopefully going to be the same person we are inside. So that's what it's all about, isn't it? So I'm glad Clown is like that with you, Voodoo Queen. What's this? Raven is working on a huge order for a business. She's around but doesn't even get the time to breathe these days. Oh, God love her. Oh, well, if you're in touch with the Lady Witch, will you say hello from me, please? Yeah, let her know that well, I definitely miss her. I know everybody else does. Love Raven and hope she's all right. Greenhouse. My only thing I have to have on is my eyebrows. They are blonde and sparse, so I have to pencil them. Oh, is he from Manchester? Right. Oh, I'll look him up then. Has he got a channel on here, Green Eyes? Everyone is beautiful in their own way. Some of the most attractive women in the world are ugly on the inside. Absolutely right, Pork Chop. Absolutely right. It's true, it's skin deep a lot of the times. Although having said that, you know, there are some really beautiful and or handsome people who are genuinely nice people. They're not, you know, I can't tar them all with the same brush, but yeah. What's that? Yeah, basic look would be light foundation, eyebrows filled and gelled, eyebrushes curled, and a good few coats of mascara. Oh yeah, that'd be great, Green Eyes, if you could drop the link. Like I said, if anybody's got any links that they want to share for anybody, you know, pile them on in here. You're all mods, so you can all do it. Oh, we need to make pork chopper mod as well. We haven't made pork chopper mod. What's just been done? He said, pork chopper, see a guy with a t-shirt that said, no matter how good looking they are, someone somewhere is sick of their shit. Isn't that true, Denny? Absolutely. Sharon saying, true pork chop, superficial folk. Yeah, just so you know, pork chop, I'm going for the channel with the most mods, and we don't leave anybody out in this channel, so everybody can be a mod. So I can't do it on my phone, but I will do it on my tablet later on. So as and when you come in next time, you will be wrenched up to buggeration. Oh, thanks for dropping that, Green Eyes. So there's his link. That's great. So did any of you, at Green Eyes especially, and Voodoo and Bedtime, did you go back and listen to those recordings that I posted against the live from the other night about the that with the old guy poltergeist voice? Just wondering if you actually got the nerve to go up and have a listen. Sorry, there's going to be a bit of clattering. I've got to put some more wood on this damn fire. Excuse me, guys, for 1 second. Oh. Links for homemade soup, one that you guys use. Oh, Denny. Hello, Bill. Sorry, Bill. Did you listen to the two I found, Denny? They're both, Green Eyes, not yet. We'll wait until John gets home on Thursday, so I have someone. Oh, yeah. Moral support. Oh, so we can cuddle you while you listen to them. Yeah. I actually scared myself listening to them on my own. I wish I hadn't done, but yeah. Wise move. But yeah, Denny, I found two of them. One's a 5-minute recording and the audio's pretty bad, but the other one is about 12 minutes. And on that video as well, there are a lot of the photographs, you know, of the Hodgson girls, like flying through the air and whatnot. And I don't think you were in here, you know, when we did the live and I mentioned that she'd been found asleep on top of the wardrobe. I'd actually got it wrong because the photograph was there. She was found asleep on top of that chest of drawers. Okay, Lady Witch, see you in a second. Oh, yes, I did. I've heard them before. Fucking weird. Seeing the pics again, as we had said, you can see Janet is not jumping. No, she absolutely is not. She is not. And do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if some of those photographs we've never seen. I don't mean the ones on that. I bet there are photographs that they've never released. I would bet my money on it. It's like with, did you watch the film Deliver Us from Evil with Eric Bana in it? About the, oh, what the hell is his name? He's still alive now. The New York detective who ended up going into paranormal research, and the film Deliver Us from Evil is about that. And I watched an interview with Eric Bana when he was talking about making this film, and he met with this original police officer because it's based on his book and his experiences. And he said they listened to the recording of an exorcism that had been carried out. And you won't rewatch. Yeah, Danny, exactly. Did you see this interview? And he said they can't make this public. This recording of the exorcism is so horrific, they'll never make it public. That guy who the film was based around, because he said it traumatized some of the film crew listening to it, because he wanted to hear what this guy had been through. You know, and he wanted to get the characters true to life. So it makes me think that, you know, maybe we haven't seen everything regarding Enfield. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, you're right. Very, very bad juju. What? Can you remember the guy's name? It's an Italian name, isn't it? Is it Sarchi? Is his name Sarchi? Something like Ralph Sarchi or something like that? Cooper, don't start while I'm talking about fucking ghosts again. I'm sure it's something like Ralph Sarchi or Scarchi or something. No, they don't. They don't, Danny, at all. Not at all. So, oh, thank you. You can Google it. If I try and Google it, you know what will happen? I'll get booted again. So I was going to say, if we, while you're Googling that, if you can still hear, what I was going to suggest was maybe, because if you've only moved house, so you need to settle in and whatnot. maybe if we try for doing the Enfield, if it suits you, maybe the first or second week in January, maybe the second. Ralph Sarchi, yes, thank you. I couldn't remember if it was Sarchi or Scarchi. I'm terrible with names. But as I said, I was just thinking maybe first or second week in January, and we do the Enfield thing, or maybe do Enfield and the Smurl family one. I did look that up. I read a brief bit on it after you mentioned it and suggested it the other night. So yeah, that looks like an interesting one, doesn't it? So I don't know whether, maybe we could get both of them on the same live or do two separate ones. 43 tapes and that exorcism, yeah. That really is some scary shit, isn't it? So if you can hear things, I'm putting things behind doors to keep the draft out. I don't know what the damn temperature's dropped to outside, but my God, it is so cold in here. Just while I've been talking, I felt it plummet. Oh, sorry, Denny. Yeah, I was saying, sorry, I'd missed your comment. I was saying that I was thinking, obviously you've only just moved house, so you're all topsy-turvy at the moment. But when we've been talking about doing Enfield and that Smurl case, maybe I was thinking maybe get Christmas and New Year out the way and see if you're in a decent place, maybe the first or second week in January. If you're not, obviously, if you're in a decent enough place to do it by then, because I know what it's like moving house. Two degrees further up north. Oh God, now, I swear, Simples, it's so cold. Oh, it's three outside pork chop where I am. It feels here like it literally the temperature's plummeted in probably within the last 45 minutes here. It's so cold, and I've just had a little look out the window and it looks like there's frost forming on the cars, so it must be at least 0. I mean, I did hear somebody saying it was going to get into the minuses here tonight, and I can well believe it at the moment. So I might end up putting a granny rug on my knees again like I did last week. It's Denny put, oh yes, for sure. We will have internet there by this Friday. This mum needs her downtime, so I'm well up for that. Right, brilliant. Well, there's no rush. So what I suppose whenever you have a minute, if you want to have a look at, if we both look at both cases, because it's good, isn't it, when we're bouncing off each other. If we both do our research on both cases, and then I'm sure if I've forgotten something, you'll know it, and vice versa. Obviously, you'll know more about the Smurl case than I do. And then, because we can take our time doing it then, can't we? And then after New Year, if I do a live at some point, and then we can get together and maybe set a date, if that sounds okay for you. Yeah, it's brilliant. I loved your comment before when you went, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. I was trying to say it in your accent, but it just didn't work. Oh, so it's -1 where you are, Sharon, right? Yeah, it feels like that here. My hands are actually cold. Yeah, it's and really, I can see the drawer on the fire as well, which usually happens the way it's going at the moment. That usually happens when there's a significant temperature drop, and I feel really bad because I haven't put Crazy Maisie's rug on. I mean, she's in a stable, so she's all right, but she's an old girl now, so I should have really put a rug on, but I didn't think she'd need it. I think that's going to change tomorrow. I don't want to get in all stiff jointed. Yeah, it is me. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. You're like the Kent version of Chaz and Dave. Instead of rabbit, 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 you're going, do it, do it, do it. God, I can't believe we've been online for 2 hours already. And I don't know what the hell we've talked about. Getcha. Oh, I can't, Simples. I'm not going up there in the dark. No, there's werewolves up there. It's up on moors. No chance. She's in a stable. She has a lovely deep bed. And she's fat, so I'm sure. And Ace the foal is in the same, got their stable, and we put up, the whole thing used to be hers, but it's, we partitioned it off with, what they called, pallets. So they both get the body warmth off each other anyway, so that she'll be fine. I'm not being I'm not being evil to her. I keep thinking the damn thing was born on Shetland. I've made a nesh. So what's Tisby Denny put? Interestingly, the Smurl household was all female, like Enfield and like the Conjuring family. A point to discuss in the live. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Because there do seem to be quite a lot of common denominators in these cases, don't there, Denny? You know, and that Annalise Michelle. Because weren't they all daughters? I know she was the only one, but wasn't that all daughters? Porkchop, wait, did you just say there are werewolves? Oh, werewolves of London. There might be. There might be. We don't know. There are things that howl up on the moors at night around the time of a full moon, so there might be. And I'm not risking it if there might be. That's all I'm going to say on that. Sharon, just switch my bed blanket on. Oh, go get behind me, Satan. I need to get one. Apart from the dad, but yeah, lots of coincidences to explore. Yes. Pork chop could be deer then. Maybe. I have heard some very strange noises up there. Actually, the last time though, when I was really convinced it was a werewolf, it was a deer. I recorded it because I was thinking, oh my God, because Cooper was going crackers, but it was actually a deer. I got an expert to tell me what it was. He was like, no, it's a deer, you dickhead. Tis me, Denny. I used to be a werewolf, but I'm all right now. Yeah, don't go on the moors. I know. My dog is my hot water bottle. Yes, Denny, mine's going to have to be my hot water bottle tonight. I'll have to look at Smurl. I don't know them. No, Simples Maycat. I didn't know them either until Denny mentioned them on the live the other day. But were deer. Yeah, we have were deer in Lancashire, pork chop. And stick to the roads, or it's stick to the path, isn't it? I had a T-shirt that was, do you remember the slaughtered lamb out of the American Werewolf in London? The pub, and yeah, I had a T-shirt. Somebody had got me one of those, and I lost it. I don't know where the hell that went to. There's a film called The Haunted on YouTube. It's a Smurl case. The Warrens also involved. Do you know the Warrens? They had the fingers in every pie, didn't they? I'm not calling them. I'm just saying. They just seem to be involved in every big case. But maybe that's because they were experts in that field, maybe. Because he's dead now, isn't he, Ed Warren? Because I did get told that they have, I wasn't aware, but that they just, this Conjuring 2 is based on the Enfield case, isn't it? And that those kids have collaborated, although, well, they're grown up now, aren't they? But they've collaborated with them on that. Bloody hell, the Warrens were all over. They were. Sharon, it's fucking freezing here, Denny. Late home, too late to put the heating on, made dinner, and at it by the oven. How sad. Denny, haha, pork. I love American Werewolf in London film. When he's in the porno cinema and all the corpses are cheerfully suggesting where he dies, very British. I know. Hey, I'll tell you what though, Denny. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to cough, guys. Sorry. That London under, you know, in the underground, where that guy, and it gets him coming down the escalators, and you hear it coming up the tunnel. And even in broad daylight, when it's packed out, when I've been on the tube in London, I get, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. It's horrible. Sharon, you warm those cockles, you beautiful human. Oh, do you know what? Somebody else who says that is Anne Westwood, isn't it? I've not seen Anne for a while. Does anybody know how she's getting on? But yeah, she's another one who says you beautiful human. Yeah, it was the scary bit, Simples. It really frightened me, that bit. Because it was a funny film, wasn't it? Because it was humorous, but very scary. And that film is what gave me this real fear about werewolves. And then obviously with us going over the Dogmen stories the other night, which, yeah, you know, they're who can say what's out there? Oh, she's been popping into Clowns Lives, Voodoo. Oh, well, if you see her, if I happen to miss her, will you please tell her that I'm asking after her? I like Anne a lot. I'm trying to think of some other. Who else haven't we seen? So we've not seen Real Lucy for a bit. Who else got mentioned before? And we obviously Sid came in the other night, didn't he? Which was good. And Paul came in early, which was great. Oh, bedtime. I have seen her, but I can't remember what channel, or if it was a comment section. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Vanda. No, I've not seen either. I saw London Girl was in my comments earlier, and Hippie Chick was in Salty's live the other night as well, wasn't she? Denny, any minute now, my feet will be on my fella's back legs. Autocorrect from Bam's chat with the caps. Yeah. I do that. I find myself typing in capitals. Oh, she's done a goodbye channel and goodbye video and deleted a channel. Oh gosh, I didn't know that. That extra few inches may arrive soon, Shah. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, Sharon Bedtime's just said she's ditched her channel. That's a shame. That is a shame. I'm trying to think of who else we've not seen. No, I didn't know either, Denny. Oh. The thing is, though, it's been about that, isn't it? About a month anyway, that we've all been kind of bouncing around till you started going live. And like we said before, Burren Witch and Rain Dancer, Ree Lucy. Sharon, he can foot right off. Oh, I get you now. I don't know. It's a good way to warm yourself up on a cold night. Body heat, you know. Don't turn it down, Sharon, if it's offered. You never know when he might not offer it for a long time. I saw Tracy. Oh, yeah, Tracy, of course. Gosh, how did I forget little Trace? Saw Tracy somewhere too. Same time I saw damn memory or lack thereof. Dogs are awesome heaters. Well, they are till they decide to leave you to go and find a warmer spot. I'm not so bad at the moment because I've got little Coopy at the side of me, so he's keeping me warm-ish. But he feels quite cold, actually, now that I come to mention it. Just feeling his back, and he's feeling a bit chilly as well. I definitely need to get a couple of big hot water bottles or something. Although it's really funny because I do feel the cold, and if I've been out and put the horses out or what have you and walk the dog, and I'll come in, and if Mr. Sexy's in bed and he warms me, he's really good at that. He's really kind, and basically he'll tell me to keep my hands to my effing self, but legs, back, everything, and he'll warm me up properly. But the other night it was really weird because I got like mad sweats because he's like a bloody radiator. And I never do that. I'm not like a sweaty person, but God, it was running off me. So I think, but it was too cold to stick a leg or an arm out of the bed. So yeah, it was really weird because I ended up getting up in the middle of the night. I went and made us a brew, and then I went in the bathroom and had a full-on wash again because I was like, where did that come from? It didn't happen again, but yeah, maybe I was having a hot and steamy dream that I never remembered. I do not know. Yeah, I do too, Voodoo Queen. It's a bloody joke because I can't see. I mean, I've been told it will be this week, but this week now has only got 2 days left in it because there's no bloody engineer going to be coming out here trying to fix heating on Christmas Eve. I can tell you that for nothing. Roberta's puppy peed on the top of the bed. My dome bomb peed on. Yeah, she was telling me she got it up on the bed within it peed. Now, Cooper never did that. But he was the first night I got him, and I was trying to do everything properly. I thought, you know what? This dog is going to go in a crate. And I put him in a crate, and he cried like, oh, I couldn't listen to him any longer. And my friend is a dog behaviourist. She's German. And I went online, and she happened to be on, and she's like, why are you up so late? And I said, well, just got this puppy and he's crying downstairs and I'm trying to leave him. And she went mad at me and she said, I mean, I can't even do the German accent, but you can imagine it. They come across very brusque, don't they? And she was saying, how dare you leave that puppy all alone? If that was a wolf puppy, he would never be left alone in the dark on his own. There would always be an adult wolf. Go down and bring that poor puppy upstairs with you right now. I was like, okay, Brigitte, I will do it. So I went down and I got him and I brought him upstairs and he fell asleep straight away. He was only 8 weeks old and he just cuddled up against my chest in a little tiny ball of fur, went to sleep. And he woke me up at about 5 o'clock in the morning crying. And I picked him off the bed and went downstairs and then put him on the floor and then he peed. So he never did it on the bed. In fact, he totally toilet trained himself by the time he was he was 20 weeks old, completely clean in the house. Never had he's been ill and he's had an accident, but after that he never pooed or peed. It was really good. Oh, hang on, pork chop. Now dropped to 1C on the coast. So if you're inland, you're going to need that granny blanket very soon. Do you know what, pork chop? Yes, I am. It's Baltic here. So I would, if I had to guess, without looking, because I can't check on my phone now and my tablet's flat, but if I had to guess, I would reckon it's probably about -2 at the moment. It's so cold. Bedtime clown. For those that didn't see Vanda's goodbye video, it was really sweet, heartfelt, and she thanked most of the truthers, Bam, and all of the current chat. It was sad, but really sweet. Oh, love to Vanda. Oh, thanks for sharing that with us, Bedtime. Yeah, Sharon's just thanked you as well. Yeah, that is really sad. Oh, so I gather by that then it's not going to be, she's not going to return, maybe. Oh, it's such a shame. And it's a shame when really good people go. You know, there's such a lot of footwits on here stirring it up and causing it for everybody. And you just think, why don't you bog off and you shut your channels, you know, and leave the good people to enjoy themselves like we're all doing in here. So it's been, the chat's been fluctuating tonight, hasn't it? We had quite a lot in, then a few, then a lot, and then a few again. So, but yeah, we've had some quite nice chats. Simple as if I had a dog, he would be on my bed. Tita sleeps on the bed when she's not in her boudoir. Oh, my friend's cat used to sleep like a stole round her neck. Her little cat. She'd just get up and she'd kind of wriggle underneath her neck between there and the pillow, towards the bottom of the pillow, nearer to your shoulders. And there she would stay all night. And she used to say it was lovely. And she'd make little mooing sounds, mewing sounds through the night in her sleep. It's bedtime said. That's the feeling I got, Case. Hated to see her go, but she needed the break, obviously. So much love and well wishes to her. Yeah, Vanda. So, you know, if you're listening, love, or you catch this at some point, yeah, you're missed. You're missed. You're really, really cared about by everybody in here. But yeah, so I'll have to try and I'm going to say try and keep my eyes open for people, but I just don't go in other channels, you know, well, channels in the community that people move in, other than, you know, I'll go into Salties, I'll go into Jen's when she comes up, and Genetic, obviously, when she's posting stuff. So I'll keep my eyes open for people, you know, in chat and can leave them messages, because obviously that's how Paul found out about here, because he'd left a message and he'd made a comment. And oh God, sorry, there's me, dickhead again, has forgotten to put my phone on silent. Sorry, guys. So yeah, it's just a shame, because obviously we're avoiding a lot of the different channels that we all went on for obvious reasons. So we're missing connecting with people. But, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm connected with the people, the majority of the people that I want to be connected with, as I think most of you guys are as well. So that's the main thing, isn't it? So, excuse me. So, as we were on about earlier, so if that sounds okay to you guys, start of January, Denny and I will cover Enfield, and we will cover oh, I'm just mentioning you, Jenny. Sorry, I'll read your comment and then I'll go to what I was going to say. So I would love to stay, but we have we have a heavy day of moving tomorrow. Has been great as always. Thanks so much. You were awesome. Oh, God love you. Great to see everyone. Love to all. Take care. You take care, Denny. I hope everything goes well with your move and it's not too frantic over Christmas. And you know what? If you don't get everything unpacked, just shove it under beds or stick it in a corner. Put a tablecloth over it. It'll be all right. Just enjoy your Christmas. Hopefully I'll see you before. But if I don't, maybe we'll catch you in between. But yeah, as I was just about to say, Denny and I'll do something first or second week in January on Enfield and the Smurls. If we can't get it in one live, we'll do it in two. And then I'll do the other thing that I'm being a bit cagey about that was suggested to me earlier, which would provoke quite a lot of discussion, which I think could be good in between, you know, in that, you know, one of those days in between Christmas and New Year that's got a little bit of history in it. It's quite, well, it will provoke quite a bit of discussion. I'll give you a little hint. It kind of involves World War One, and it kind of involves World War Two. Kind of. And that's all I'm going to say on that at the moment. But I think it will be quite an interesting discussion. It's not something I would have thought to do on a live, but I'm very grateful that it was brought up. And I thought, no, yeah, this sounds like I think the way that we think and the way that we discuss things in here, I think it'll be a good chat. But I'm not saying anything at the moment because I need to look it up. Let's have a look. Oh, Sharon, she only comes up if she's cold or wake up with a warm back stomach usually. Oh, that's good. Good luck tomorrow, Denny. Love to you and your family. Yeah, absolutely. Hope those boys pull the weight and you're not left carrying a lion's share. Merry Christmas, everyone. If we don't catch up before, love, luck, blessings and health. Absolutely the same to you, Denny, love, and your family. Husband and boys, hope everything gets sorted. Give your puppy a cuddle from us. Yeah, Simple's wishing you good luck with your move. Oh, you're getting new neighbours this week, Simple's Meerkat. Have you met them yet? I hope that they're nice neighbours. We had a run of real dog-end neighbours here. Last year, I had the neighbours from hell on one side of me. Oh, God, they were so bad. The police had to serve, well, you've heard this one before, haven't you, about them having to serve them with an harassment notice. It was, I've never experienced people like that in my life, because this is a really quiet street. You know, we all have each other's phone numbers. We've got spare keys to each other's houses. Everybody gets on so well, and they were just vile. And now we've got trouble with the guy who lives next door but one to me, who is just causing all sorts of shit for the whole street. So he's only been in there for 6 months. So hopefully, after finding out that Nicola across the road knows and she's on good terms with the lady who owns that house, she's after getting him turfed. Bye, Denny love. Take care. Oh, weren't you in there, Green Eyes? They were the neighbours from hell. She had we ended up having nicknames for him. She ended up being called just batshit, basically, because that's what she was. Her son was this big, wet, lanky fart who we call Lurch. And her husband was this, he was really short. Oh, it was awful. I used to call him the pound shop Elvis. He had all the Brill cream slick backed black hair. He had one tooth in his head. He had something wrong with his leg that he used to limp, but in the weirdest way I've ever seen. And he had these great big, he was only a short arse. It was probably not dissimilar in height to me, but he had these massive hands, like the homunculus hands, big fat fingers and a big fat thumb. So he ended up being called Chode. And the reason we called him that, and it wasn't a word that I'd ever heard before, but does anybody know what a chode is? Just while you're thinking of that, I'll just go back to Simples. Oh yeah, you're getting Polish neighbours. Good. Sharon, I'm best with good neighbours. Odd neighbours, but good neighbours. Simples had druggies years ago. Sam assured me that these new people are not like that. Oh, that's good. I don't advise letting your partner stoned on cold medicine. Homemade, if you know, you know. Try to help with dinner. Oh, heck. What's he done, Lady Witch? Yeah, Lady Witch, the phrase chode apparently Obviously, I'm not that down with the kids. No, well, I don't know what a over here in the UK, in the north of England, apparently a chode is a short, fat dick. And one of the other neighbours, because of this guy's hands, because he did have dick fingers, they started calling him the chode, so this stuck. So basically, we've got batshit lurch and the chode. She, for whatever reason we do not know, last year developed a bit of an obsession with me, which started off with unwanted gift giving. I couldn't be outside without her appearing over my garden wall. She would turn up anytime I had visitors. She was a real nuisance. I was getting gifts left in my garden at my front door, left on my car windscreen. Decided, and I'm always friendly with everybody. So I kind of tried to step away, and that was the wrong thing to do, because then it went the other way. So as you know, with any form of a stalker, be it in whatever way, when they're rejected, they then turn on you. And this happened, and it was to such an extent that the police had to become involved. They were the three of them, and it was the three of them. I've got recordings of it. I might actually play it some night, because you will not believe the abuse that was going on. And I just wasn't rising to it. I just blanked them. I ignored them. It was really, really bad. But yeah, the police ended up serving them with an harassment notice. Luckily for me, I know the people who own that house. So I'd got in touch with them, and they gave them the marching orders. Now, they'd initially taken a 6-month lease on the house. However, because of COVID, and in the UK, they put an extension on people either being evicted or end of tenancies. So they got a 3-month extension. So we had to put up with them until the 18th of December, which is when they had to leave. And the parting gesture was ripping my internet out of the wall outside. My car got damaged. My neighbours' belongings were damaged. Oh, it was so bad. It wasn't just me they were at, but I was the focus of it all. So yeah, that was basically, in a nutshell, that's what happened. It was really freaky. Really freaky. What's a baby shark over here? A chode? Are we going back into that, what I was telling you about before? And then a big brown shark came. G.I. Joe. So long as it's not a brown shark bedtime, that's okay. After watching that, I can't get it out of my head. It was that is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. If you look on YouTube, you might find the clip. So it's Eddie Murphy delirious, but yeah, thanks to Mr. Sexy for that one, because that song. G.I. Joe. Yes, Simple Meerkat gifts, all sorts of weird things. She gave me and these weren't things, I wasn't even overly friendly with her, it was just a morning, afternoon, what have you. She started when I came out of my house in the morning to go and sort the horses out. I'm sure she was setting an alarm clock, because the minute I came out of my front door, she was there. Morning, the minute I came home, she was there. She knew when I walked the dog. It was, yeah. But gifts, it started off with little things. And then it escalated. The biggest thing she gave me was a Japanese maple acer tree, which must have cost over £100. Easily worth over £100. And I was like, oh no, you're all right, you're okay. No, have it, I got it, I can't have it, whatever. And yeah, it was just getting, and wouldn't take any of them back. And then when all this escalated, then she's like she was just deranged. She was I think she had real mental health issues, but anyway. they're gone. Thank goodness for that. And my neighbours have got in now are lovely. It's a lady called Keris and her 2 sons. And Keris has split from her husband because Keris now has a girlfriend who's really nice as well. And she's a pagan, so that's all good. I passed her before when I was taking Cooper out, which made the other neighbours kind of look at us really weird because I came out of the house and she went, "Happy Solstice," and I went, "Yeah, blessings." And I could see the neighbours across the road kind of looking, and I'm thinking, oh God, you've no idea. But anyway, so they were just going off to a winter solstice celebration, so they'll probably all come in shit-faced at midnight or what have you, but you know, good on them. The lovely neighbours, really, really nice people. Very new age travellery type of people, but they're lovely. I think the world of them. So yeah, I'll be gutted if they move. Now the do, is that for baby shark, simple as meerkat? Or is that for me? Or is that the Jaws do? Or is that for the brown shark in the water? G.I. Joe. And then a big brown shark came. Right, I've got to sort my head out. This is getting really bad. I'm not going to keep subs this way, and I'm not going to keep people entertained. So we need a topic. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I need to go and powder my nose for 1 second and get myself a warm drink. So if you can entertain yourselves, I will be right back. But I'm literally freezing to death here, so I need to get a warm drink and have a wee. I'll be 2 ticks and I shall come back again. See you in a second. Oh gosh. Right, I'm just back while I'm waiting for my kettle to boil. Let's see what I've missed. I spy with my little eye. Simple. After 3 hours, she says we need a topic. Well, you know. One does what one can. Well, I know. The thing is, though, I didn't realise just, you know, all the shit I've been chatting. And I do keep dropping that old link just in case. Which is fine. I have found, though, yeah. It's the thing that I like, though, is that, you know, that everybody in chat, it's just been flowing all night. And you know, we've had all night, well, what, for 2 hours and 45 minutes, but yeah, just discussing everything and talking about nothing in particular and everything really. You know, covering Chris. I think it was nice talking about Christmas and where we're all at and what we're doing or what we're eating mainly. That's the main thing, isn't it? And like the other night when Jen came up on the night that Jen came up on panel, you know, everyone had been swapping recipes and saying what they were doing and, you know, all the rest of it. So I've got to make a flipping tiger bread loaf yet. And I realised I was hoping that today was the last time I had to go doing any shopping. And I realised I haven't got any flipping rice paste in. So, you know, because I don't know if any of you ever made tiger bread before, but that's how you get that crackled effect on the top. Pork chop, do you want a hypothetical question to use as a topic that I have been pondering? Absolutely, pork chop, fire away. We've been doing this kind of all night, off and on. Yeah, it was Sharon. It was lovely. It was really lovely to have her up on panel. I'll be honest with you. Do you know what? I wouldn't hear or say a bad word about Nuff Nuff. Oh, here we go. Here we go, chat. We have a hypothetical question. So, Pork Chop has said, if a child somehow survived and grew up in the wilderness without any human contact, how human would they be without the influence of society and culture? My God. I suppose you have to define human though, don't you? Are you talking human as we look at human or human as an actual I'm not explaining myself properly. I mean, we'd all be human without the influence of society and culture. It's the creature that we are. Do you mean would they revert to instincts? Because I suppose, yeah, that's it, Sharon. You said it better than me because I kind of jumped into that one. Would be considered the same as animal. Yeah. So I suppose you would be meaning human as we would identify human now. Would they become more primitive or would they naturally evolve like the rest of humanity? I think my thoughts would be if you were to do it now, I think you would revert back to instincts, wouldn't you? I think. I mean, it's like something we discussed the other day. You know, there are certain instincts that we retain. Doesn't matter how evolved we become, we're still an animal. You know, the bare bones of it is we are still an animal. And we were discussing, I don't think you were in here, Pork Chop, but we were discussing about if you've ever heard of the missing 411, the missing people in the great parks, the national parks of America. So one of the examples I gave was about children. When they find these children that have gone missing, and we're talking toddlers, they are sometimes found at the top of a mountain where they couldn't ever have got to alone. And I was saying, well, that in and of itself is, it's not a natural thing, you know, that there's no way that child would have gone there, because the instinct of a young child when lost is, if they're, you know, at any kind of an altitude, the instinct of a young child is to actually head down rather than up. This is a, you know, and that's a proven fact. It's not something that I'm just coming out with because I felt like saying it. That's an actual fact. So it shows that young children, you know, we shape them as to how, you know, into what they develop into, don't they? So it wouldn't be that we would be becoming primitive. We'd be more primitive than we were now, because you've not got society and culture to influence you. But I think as far as I think you would revert to a primitive state, and then would potentially evolve as we have evolved, but it would take quite a long time. You know, if you've then got a society of modern day humans, but who have been allowed to live in the wild with no contact, you know, no teachings, no reading, writing, nobody to teach them about tools and or weapons or anything that modern man is accustomed to. Maybe, I don't know, chat. What you're thinking, or not? What are your thoughts on it, Pork Chop? Oh, the kettle's just finished boiling. I shall be right back. I shall just leave that with you. But I'd be interested. That is actually a really good, thought-provoking question. Thank you for that one. Hi, bedtime. Can you hear us? Lady Witch is just saying, I think ultimately they would be an animal. They wouldn't have the influence to know right from wrong, etc. That is where the phrase civilized society comes from. They might come up with rudimentary tools, but nothing like we have as a whole. I think a lot of animals, this is from Voodoo Queen, have human characteristics. So if a child grew up with only animals, they have instincts but remain human. Voodoo, I don't know. I've got bedtime's come up on panel, but I can't hear him, and I don't know if he can hear me. So are you in the same room? Can you give him a nudge if you are? Porkchop said, brains have changed since the caveman. So would the young human find a way to progress forward at a faster rate than their ancestors? But have they changed since? I mean, what do you class as a caveman? If you're classing a caveman as Neanderthal, then yes, because we were, you know, slightly different species. But
hello, can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now. Bedtime. Oh,
is the connection terrible?
It is a bit.
Okay, hang on.
So sorry. So as I was going to say, but humans as we are now, we've been like this for what, at least 40,000 years. Our brains haven't developed any further. Oh, he's at work or driving. Oh, I've lost him. Right, I just stopped to let bedtime up. I'm just going to make my brew. But I don't know what you think about that one, but yeah, it just depends what you're defining as a caveman, I suppose. Oh, right, I'm back with me brew. Right, what have I missed? Bedtime. I saw most of the closing arguments on Kim Potter's. The jury's still out. Yeah, it's underwater. I think he must have been, like Voodoo said, he must have been driving or at work. So, he might come bounce back up again shortly. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm of the opinion that, yeah, I just think that you would revert to, as bedtime, as Lady Witches just said, your instincts would kick in. Um, we'd revert to primitive behaviour, but we wouldn't be animalistic. Well, animalistic, is that the right? I don't know whether that's the right word to use or not, but yeah, I mean, look at how many instincts we still retain them, but our instincts tend to be they're diluted, aren't they, by training? And it's go back again. Not that I'm trying to bring it into the paranormal sphere, but go back to this where a lot of young children have, they say that these children can see ghosts or spirits or other entities because that instinct within them hasn't been educated out of them, if you will. We're born with certain abilities that are trained out of us. So, oh, hang on. I think, is this? Yeah, he's back.
Hello, hello. Is this
Oh,
any better?
that's loads better, bedtime clown. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry about that. I am driving, and I heard you read Pork Chop's proposition. I thought I was thinking about it. I was listening to you talk about it.
Good question, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I my, I thought about it for a couple of minutes. I was listening to what you were reading in the chat and listening to you, and I thought, well, wait a minute. Now we really can't. I mean, I know it's a hypothetical, right?
Yeah.
And I started thinking to myself. I thought, well, wait a minute. Now here we're talking about, you know, a feral child, and I think it was when you said, well, we would have to first define whether or not that would, truly be a human, right? But what occurred to me was I wanted to say, well, that's an impossible question to answer because, in my mind, I would think, well, uh, it would have been impossible for a baby to survive
Yes.
in the
Yeah.
wild, correct? So then I would have to make the assumption that, that there were parents. Let's say the parents died, and if I'm going to make the assumption that there are parents, I'm assuming there are other parents. Where I'm really going with this is that, to me, it seems impossible to make to say um,
Yeah. No, I know
that,
where you're
that that
going.
that
My
that
brain.
child wasn't influenced by a society or a culture. Maybe not a society, but maybe a culture of survival.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So then
your
I,
brain's gone the same way that mine did, because that was the first thing just for a fraction of a second, I thought, well, they wouldn't be on their own, would they? But then for purely hypothetical purposes, I kind of went away from that and then thought, right, okay, so let's imagine this child, baby, whatever, has had the means to be nurtured, but with food and warmth and what have you, has been protected from just dying, and I don't know, maybe got to the age where I really don't know, because there are stories out there of, say, 2 and 3 year old children that have gone missing and have been found living as feral children, haven't they? And they have reverted to a bit of an animalistic state in different countries.
well, and what was the name of the tribe we were discussing the other night with the Dyatlov Pass
The Mansi
stuff?
tribe.
The Mansi tribe. I mean, it had to start somewhere, and so then in the beginnings, right? I mean, you know, I guess you would say that yes, they were feral, but they were human.
Yeah.
You would think. I'm not really um, I'm not really well educated, versed on, the theories of evolution, things like that. I tend to believe more in the creationist theory, whether that involves a degree of evolutionism. I
Uh-huh.
don't know. I'm more of a live in the moment type. But I did think that Pork Chop's proposition was extremely, it piqued my mind, and I thought, wow, but when you were talking about the survival skills and not knowing what tools were and things like that, and I thought, well, they would have had to, like let's say, even maybe an 8 to a 10-year-old, loses is completely secluded and loses his or her parents, and then, obviously would be, you know, viewed or looked upon by a more advanced society and culture, if you will.
Mhm.
And how would they view that being? Would they view him as human? It would look human. It would seem human. But of course, if it, in my mind, if it was like found at 30 years old and it just wanted to kill and maim every other person from
Yes.
a culturized society, they might not view him or her as
No.
human,
And that,
by any stretch of the imagination. So,
yeah, but that's kind of going where I said, when you're looking at it as human, are you looking at it as human as in and because we are that's our genus, isn't it? We're human. It's like Cooper is a dog. I am a human. That's what I actually am.
right.
But are we looking at it as so they're always going to be a human, regardless of what skills or advanced state of intelligence they're at. They are still the same beast, aren't they? Are we looking at it as having human qualities as we view human qualities, looking from our perspective? So have you ever, just out of curiosity, you may or may not have read or heard of the books, it's the Clan of the Cave Bear by, is it Jean Owl is her name? I think her
I don't
name's
know. I don't.
Jean Owl. They made a film and it was a bit shit. It had Daryl Hannah in it years ago, but I read all the books, and basically the very short end of it is that is a young girl who is maybe 4 or 5 years old, a modern human as we would look, who is found, her family are lost in an earthquake, and she is found and raised by a clan of Neanderthals. So and this book goes through, her life with them, and then she's eventually ultimately turned away from that because she's different. She's thrown out of this clan, and she's then trying to find her own type of people. And it goes through obviously things that Jean Owl has discovered, through archaeologists and historical finds about, when they thought people first tamed horses, and when they first had wolves as pets and hunting companions, and so on and so forth. And these books are really interesting because it goes along through ways that this girl who is living on her own with no skills discovers flint will, when hit against a certain other stone, will cause a spark that creates fire, that she doesn't have to sit there twiddling a stick for hours and hours on her own, whereas in the clan they would have had 2 or 3 people taking it in turns. As one grew tired, next would start. So, and it's things like that showing how things were found by accident, how she found by accident that about making soap, ash fell into a bowl that had some fat in it and something else, and then realized that this, and I can't remember what the other content was, but it created soap that was actually smooth and it got the grease off your hand. So things like that. So would it be a case of somebody living a primitive lifestyle with nobody to teach them may find, which is how we've done it ultimately, isn't it? Over the thousands and thousands of years we've developed, it's been through accidental finds and inquiring minds pursuing those. Sorry.
Well, and it's an interesting concept too, because just what you said, is in my mind is like, well, is it a case of coincidence, or is it cases of divine intervention?
Well,
Divine inspiration,
mhm.
things like that, is as you know people, if you will, developed over the millennia,
Yeah.
or
I mean,
however
they,
long we've been around.
yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? It's, but those books actually, from, I mean, they're a bit, the fanciful, and there are different things involved, but actually from an historical perspective, some of the ways that she describes things, and it's been fancified purely for the book, for the novel purposes, but it's very interesting to see how she fits in the discoveries of different inventions with this one girl, and how this is potentially how this has happened. They're very, very interesting. If you compare to get through the other side of stuff in it and just look at those parts of the books, they're really good.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was interesting, and since I couldn't type or read the chat, I was like, well, I'll just go up real quick.
Oh no, that's great. Well, actually, I don't know if you're having to dart off or something, but Simple's Meerkat was saying that she saw some of the closing arguments on Kim Potter case. Do you know if the jury's still out on that?
Yeah, as far as I know, the jury's still out. I kind of nipped out a couple of times a year just to go check and see. I didn't see any headline. Usually my feed I can kind of just get out of the chat but still be listening, and I can scroll through who I listen to and who the algorithm shows me, and I can just read headlines.
Yeah.
I wasn't seeing anything. Everything was appearing to me that they're still out. I imagine it's probably going to go another day. They must. I mean, clearly they're arguing over something. I mean, to be frank, it's first degree manslaughter and second degree manslaughter, and then of course obviously lawyers can explain it a lot better than I can. But your mitigating circumstances are going to be intent, and so when you're discussing the laws, the criminal laws, or specifically the state of Minnesota's philosophy on intent, well, she intended to draw her taser.
Yes.
She didn't intend to shoot and kill him. They intended to put her under the arrest, under the penalty of manslaughter 1 and 2. It's almost like the punishment. Well, it's exactly like that. The punishment doesn't fit the crime, if you will. So I imagine they're probably having trouble along those lines.
Are you still planning on doing a live on this one, Bedtime?
Yeah, I've just been. I haven't gotten to it. I mean, the live, obviously. I had something come up last night, but I've been listening intently and taking notes here and there. And I mean, once the verdict comes back, it's kind of like, well, what would the point be if she's found innocent on both charges, other than to just kind of talk about maybe why, and a live along those lines would probably be more about how social media and the mainstream media influence on social media, calling this something that it wasn't, causing more unrest and chaos, when you know what I mean, just that, maybe something along those lines.
Yeah, it's trial by media all over again, isn't it?
It's not right. The initial reports were that she did what she did because he was black. Well, first off, his mother is white, so I mean, there's that. Second off, the guy she was training that pulled Dante Wright over in the first place, and she even said that if it would have been her by herself, not training Officer Lucky, the guy that was decided to pull Dante Wright over, she would have never pulled him over.
Yeah, because
of all of the problems with COVID. Our departments of motor vehicles were shut down throughout the nation. So he had expired tags on his car. Well, there's nothing he can do about expired tags because of COVID. So there's a lot more to it, but there's stuff like that was just, they made completely inflammatory and salacious statements. And it wasn't just coming from the mainstream media. I mean, these inflammatory, salacious statements were being spoken from city officials to mainstream media.
Yeah.
Feeding the flames of an already, a fire, so to speak, already. No pun intended, because a lot of cities have been burnt down for a lot of misunderstanding. And I don't mean to say, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I'm looking forward to you doing this live, because it's not one that I've really looked into. And I thought I was gutted this morning because I saw that, you came up in me subscriptions notification. I was like, shit, do not tell me he's gone on. And then I just saw that it was you're doing something for gaming. I was like, oh, great, I didn't miss a case.
Oh yeah, well, you know what that was? I'm totally misunderstood. Or I didn't know. I wasn't aware that I could go live within YouTube on my mobile device. Um, there used to be, they changed the rules. Um, it used to be you had to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours to be eligible to go live on a mobile device.
Right.
Well, I've been using YouTube, right? Using the go live button in YouTube, which is obviously what you did the other day,
And was
right?
shit.
Well, okay, I'll tell you a little bit about that here in a second. So after you did that on, I think it was what, Sunday?
Yeah, a couple of days
Yes,
ago.
yesterday I was taking a break at work and I was outside smoking a cigarette and I thought, well, maybe that's what she did because I asked you if it was an app and I think you were probably like, well, yeah, you dumb fuck, it's the YouTube app, you dipshit, and because I was thinking it was a third party app.
No.
And so I went outside, I was smoking and I hit the button and then all of a sudden all these options came up and I was like, what is this? And lo and behold, I could go live. Well, I thought, oh, well, hell, if you can see your phone screen, this is like screen sharing, you know?
Right.
So basically, what that was a test um, that I had set to private. I had it set at private all day yesterday, and all day I was wanting to watch the video back to see if my test was working or had worked because I wanted audio in there as well,
Yeah.
but I couldn't get any audio in it because I was in the gaming deal side of it. You have live streaming with just your camera, and then if you look up at the top right of the screen, if you go back into it when you do it, um, you'll see you'll see your like your phone camera option, and then you'll see the gaming option. The gaming option will allow you to live stream whatever you're seeing and hearing on your mobile device. That's what the end user that's watching you live is going to see.
Right.
And so, anyways, that's all that was. So when I got home last night, uh, I took it off of private so that we could see it on Voodoo Queen's device
Yeah.
and see what it looked like. And that's all it was. But the reason you were having so much, I believe, the reason that you were having so much interference was because you probably had your phone via Bluetooth hooked up to your TV, correct? When you
Uh,
when you tried it the first time and it went to shit.
no, it was all that happens is I get the option if I want to share my screen, but I don't, and I'd disable that bit. Share my screen. Throw from my phone to my telly, and I disable that in case I ever press a button. So no, I hadn't. That's why I was like, shit. But it was funny because my telly did, as you know, my telly did like bog out, and I had to reset everything after I'd been on that live. So maybe it had connected. I don't know. You probably
It may have because when you spoke, like the second time you spoke, that's when we started getting a bunch of audio interference.
right.
It was basically like the audio version of an echo.
Yeah.
So like when you would watch like Dorothy's lives,
Mhm.
and she's watching somebody else's video and she pulls out of that in particular video and it's just a shot of her screen and you see the never ending image get smaller and smaller and smaller into the end of the screen. It's
Yes.
basically it was like the audio version of that. And I think it was feedback that was caused between your phone and your television when you spoke. That's what I think happened.
All right. Can I just stop you 1 second there? Then you did miss. You forgot to do something. Then when you said that,
Hmm. What
I've done
what
it
did
for.
what?
I don't know if you heard that or not.
Uh-uh.
I went.
Oh,
Carry on.
sorry.
saying nothing else. Oh gosh, sorry. In the meantime, I've just noticed Pork Chop's been back, and he put, must have been on the back of when we were talking. A lot of the scientific advancements have been accidental. Tribes that have never had contact with outsiders have progressed in similar ways, just not at the same pace.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, it was a very interesting question and topic.
I
Good
know.
on Pork Chop for bringing it on that one. That was a
Yeah,
good
it
one.
was a good one. Because bless him, he obviously realised. I was like, right, should we? It did make me laugh though when I said, right, what topic should we discuss? And Simple said 3 hours in, and she asks, should we have a topic?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was just pulling out of the parking lot at work, which when you read that out, I kind of had a chuckle about that as well.
I know. Well, I did intend. I do this every time. I think, right, I'm going to come on tonight, and I'm going to talk about you. And God, hear my voice going. This is because I'm varying between ciggies and me vape thing, and the
Yeah.
vape is still getting to the back of my throat. But yeah, I thought we'll talk about Christmas, which we did, and then it just has ended up as a general chat about all sorts of stuff. But which doesn't bother me. I just suddenly think, well, shouldn't I really have some content? That's why I say, what would you like to talk about? Because I come on and I've got absolutely no idea. Although I do plan to do this properly with Denny on Enfield and the Smurl family, so that'll be organised. But I don't think,
Yeah.
and this other thing that I've been, that has been suggested to me, which I don't want to give away because I want to make sure that I look into it, and I don't want to give anyone the heads up. But like I said, it's kind of related to World War One and kind of related to World War Two. But it will be very conversation provoking, I think. So
It
yeah,
sounds interesting.
yeah. Well, like I said, it was suggested to me earlier today, and well, probably about an hour before I went live, actually. And I thought, yeah, wow, yeah, I think that would go down really well in chat
Hmm.
because it's a different kind of conversation. Yeah,
All
yes,
right.
Green. No, I can't wait as well. It's we do chit chat chicks as simple as meerkat. Yeah, we do, and it's nice. I think it's just nice having a free flowing conversation because we're all catching
Yeah.
up, aren't we? And and what have you. But I am really looking forward to you doing that trial when you cover it. So
Yeah.
we'll give us all the heads up, and I'll post something on my channel to let everybody know to come over to you because I'm really interested.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Don't use that word cover because I will make it will be a disaster. I promise you.
Well, your lives aren't disasters; they're good fun. I like having a chat, and because I mean, obviously, I'm pinching one of your skills because you always make a point of going back and reading through the chat. Doesn't matter where you're up to, you go all the way back and you make sure you've covered everybody's everybody's comments or questions. And I know the other night it was because there was a lot of people in, I was getting a little bit behind in the chat, and I thought in the end, oh, jack it, I'll just leave it. I'll pick up where I've left off. But that's something that I pinched from you because I thought I like how you take the time to cover what everybody said. You might be a bit delayed by 5 minutes or so because you're on a topic, but you always go back and you always address what people are saying. So that's something that I've learned and taken away from your lives, which I thank you for.
Yeah. No. That listen. All the credit goes to Bam on that one. I mean, I've seen tons of creators do it, but I've never. I don't participate really in other channels as much as I do yours or Bam's, and I mean I totally got that from Bam,
Yeah,
just observing her because there's nothing she doesn't see, very very rarely is she like, what are you guys talking about, and because she's got an incredible, she's really good at multitasking, like mentally, you know what I mean, and her eyes may be bad but she sees it.
yeah. And,
And that was just kind of something that I picked off of her.
oh well, there you go. Then the lessons are being learned, and we're passing them all on between each other. So yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with Green Eyes. She's made a comment. And when you said you'd make a hash of your limes, you put, no, it won't be. You'll be great. Yeah, I second that, Green Eyes.
Oh, I
And
appreciate that.
Simple said the same. Will it Eck? You're a fabulous speaker, clown. You are. You are.
Thank you, guys.
You talk on a lot of different topics, and you always have, you make some very, very valid points. I enjoy
Ask
listening to your lives.
ask Voodoo. I'm very opinionated, and
Aren't we?
most times I have something to say. It may be a bunch of hogwash, but you know.
The important thing is who gets the last word, her or you.
Well, usually her.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm honest, usually
Oh,
her.
she's just posted in chat. Oh my God, yes. No, it's I do. I enjoy your lives, and I enjoy when Voodoo's popping in and out in the background. I like them. I like the way that they flow, and it's the same that like people are doing in here. The chat just flows a bit, and it's really good. It's enjoyable.
Well, I had a little bit of a lesson last. I think it was last Friday night. Um, Whenever I did that live and then took it down because I told her, I said, well, I can't. I'm better. I think I'm better with it being improv. But if I'm going to talk about something, it's just going to be me talking about it and her bringing up, because she helps out a lot, for if not the entire time, because what she'll do is she'll present things. She'll verbally present something to me, and I'll either react to it in a completely and totally, predictable, manly, ridiculous way, or we'll get into a really deep discussion about it. And there's been times when we've just got off of your live or got off of Bam's live, whatever it was, and it could be early in the morning having coffee and sit there and have an hour and a half, 2 hour long conversation. And I'll go, I really wish I just would have hit the live button.
Yeah.
And just let it go like that. Because I do, manual work for a living. So it's hard for me to sit down and take the time and write something down that I heard and then my thought on it and why I want to go back to it. 9 hours from now, listen, my brain is like a sieve.
I'm just laughing here. Green Eyes has just put, of course, we have to have the last word. Well, actually, I'm going to correct you there on that, Green Eyes, because I don't get the last word. I'm always, I don't get the last word. I must be the only woman on the planet who doesn't, but what's Voodoo Queen put? We have the most random but awesome conversations. Yeah, and they're the ones I really like, Voodoo Queen. They're great, aren't they? You can just talk for hours and, yeah, just totally random about any subject and have a really good discussion there. And that, again, that is why I like your lives. What's Simple's Meerkat? Is that when you get your knickers in a knot because it's planned?
Is she asking me or Voodoo or both?
Well, I'm presuming it's directed at you, so you can answer that if you like.
I don't know. Yeah, it just, I don't know. It just doesn't turn out how I envision it turning out, but it's like you say, because you do need some structure. I mean, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes for Bam, and I can only imagine. I mean, Bam's got like a really good memory.
Yeah.
So there's structure there, but it's all in her head.
Yeah. No. Oh, sorry, your good lady's just about to leave us. I've got to run, guys. Enjoyed it. Hope everyone has a great evening. Thank you, Kiss. Oh, you're welcome, Voodoo, darling. And I'll send you a message later on. Take care, love you, and thank you so much.
Yeah, and honey, I'm headed over to Billy's parents' house to install that air purifier thingy. So hopefully I'll be home about the time you're getting home. Love
Oh,
you.
oh, get a room.
We got one.
Oh, I like this. I like the little yeah, it's lovely. I think it's great having people in relationships on your live and you passing little messages to each other. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, she loves you too, in case you can't see chat.
No, I can't see chat. Yeah, I'm fixing to have to get off because I got to use my GPS. I don't know where this place is, and
No worries.
I've pulled over, so I can. I don't have to. I still have. I don't have to be there for another 30, 45 minutes, but
Yeah, you need to know where you're going. Oh, sorry, I'm
yeah.
about to sneeze. Oh, bless me. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
bless you.
Before I could even mute myself. I'm sorry about that. Oh, well, thanks for coming up. I mean, I'm probably going to wrap this up shortly, but thank you very much for coming up and for your input as always. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Great live today. It was, for some reason when you went on about the Eddie Murphy,
Oh,
I swear I kept thinking before you said who it was. I was like, wait a minute, that's not you go. When you said it was Eddie Murphy, I was like, that's not it. That's not. It wasn't Eddie Murphy. That was Bill Cosby, but it wasn't Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby's thing was this was in the 70s or whenever. His thing was eating chocolate cake for breakfast. I
all
forgot. It just
right.
took me back to when I was a little kid, and I used to listen to my grandfather's comedy 50s rock and roll music party tapes
Yeah.
and Bill Cosby comedy tapes and
Gosh,
George
that's
Carlin and people like
yeah.
that. But
You really do need if you've not watched it though. Like I said, it was Mr. Sexy bringing it up, and then
yeah,
for like 2 or 3 days, I've just had this stupid GI Joe swimming in the water, and then the big man shark came, and I had to watch it today, and I have just been in stitches. So yeah, you need to look that up and just watch that one
well,
clip. It's
well,
so
did
fun.
you? Oh, you didn't watch the entire Eddie Murphy Raw?
No, I've seen Raw before and I've seen Delirious before, but it
Okay,
was just this one bit, and I thought I've got to
yeah.
find this, and I found it. So the clips, yeah, I found the clip and watched it, and I just sat here howling because he's so funny.
I mean, when we were kids here,
Sri Simple's put she's put two emojis up, a turd and a shark.
yeah, when we were kids, that was a staple. You had to watch both of those, on VHS tape. You had a entire Friday night or Saturday night at your friends from schools, spending the night house, spend the night at their house and watch those. Um, I
I,
haven't seen them in many, many, many years, but and
it's
in the early 2000s when Dave Chappelle came out, or got his show on Comedy Central, when you know, they started doing the Rick James, Charlie Murphy's True Hollywood Stories.
yeah,
Charlie Murphy was, I think, 100 times funnier than Eddie Murphy could have ever thought about being. To
really.
me, yes, Charlie Murphy was hilarious. He passed away. My memory's a little fuzzy. Probably 5 to 10 years ago. I don't know if it's been quite a decade, but
Yeah.
yeah, he passed away. But Charlie Murphy was absolute comedy gold. I mean, comedy gold.
Oh,
Uh,
I'll have to look him up then. But yeah, I mean Eddie Murphy is just is funny, and it's made me want to now watch both of those lives again.
yeah.
Because when he mentioned that about the big brown shark and what have you, we started talking about Delirious and Raw, and I said I always remember the joke he made about when Brooke Shields went to, I don't know if it was the Oscars or something, as Michael Jackson's date, and he's like, and nobody said anything. He said if I'd have
Mm.
taken Brooke Shields, he said there'd have been uproar, and then he went, but of course you all know Brooke would have got fucked that night.
That's right. I forgot about that.
But I couldn't remember which of the two shows that was off. So yeah, we had a bit of a giggle. But yeah, I've had that damn thing in my head since Friday now. I
That's
think
hilarious.
I'm having that theme tune. That's our theme tune now on here. And then a big brown shark came.
Mm.
Bless. Anyway, sorry, I better let you go. You've got to go to work, haven't you?
Yeah, again, leave one job to go do another job.
Oh, well, thanks very much. And you take care and have a safe drive home, and give love to Voodoo Queen when you get back, will you, please?
All right, I will do. Thank you for having me up. Good talking to you all, y'all.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime, bedtime. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, thanks so much for coming up again. As always, very welcome, Bedtime Clown. So I think, unless there's anything anybody wishes to talk about, I think I may just about wind this up. I was more or less coming online because I was wanting to brag the fact that I have StreamYard and I'm unlimited and I can use it as much as I like, at least until my subscription runs out. Oh yeah, Lady Witch says safe travels, clown. I know. It's really weird because the chat is slightly behind what I'm saying, so I then have to kind of remember what we've talked about. And and if there are any laughing emojis come up, what were they at? So so yeah, I think I shall unless anybody has anything. Oh, sorry, I've missed Simple's comment. Bam has developed that in compensation for her poor eyes. Oh, do you mean her memory? A good memory. Oh yeah, and green eyes, drive careful, bedtime clown. And I noticed that somebody was eyeing up some pool man. I see. Perverted. Absolutely perverted. Oh, right, guys. So, I've done 3.5 hours. That's not bad considering I came on with absolutely no plan whatsoever. And as always, you guys have been absolutely mint in it. You've been stellar. So, yeah, if there's nothing else anybody wishes to discuss, I shall say good night to everybody. I don't know if I'll get back on. What's that? He was very nice. Used to be a pilot for Qantas before COVID hit. Ah, was he good looking, green eyes? Hopefully for your sake, I hope he was. Bit of eye candy for the girls. But yeah, as I was saying, I don't know, a bit too young for me. Oh, never mind. Yeah, but you know, there's no harm having a little look. But yeah, I don't know if I'll get on before Christmas. Definitely not Christmas Eve, because I is busy. Christmas Day, I'll be visiting my aunt. I might be around Christmas Day night and possibly Boxing Day, but then I won't be free after that. So, but I'll give everybody loads of advance warning. As and when I know I'm going to be free, I'll actually schedule a live, and then you know you've got a couple of days' notice. So, thanks again for all the support everybody gave. Tonight as always, and the nice comments everybody left this morning were really appreciated. So, I think you're all absolutely smashing. And I'll see you all very, very soon, but I will give you some, like, quite a bit of notice. And for those of you, if I don't see you before Christmas, I hope you have a lovely time. So I'll say it again, go y'all. Have a happy Christmas. And yeah, but hopefully I will catch you before then. So take care, everybody, and as always, I'll see you on the bright side.